Oh yeah, quick reminder, you could talk over the opening credits if you want. We don't care about literally anything that happens here.
This is
Talk
true.
over the opening, you could talk over the ending, it doesn't matter. Rails
Professionalism,
off.
not
Yeah.
our middle name.
No, yeah, we're not worried about that.
It's our maiden name.
That one
We gave
comment
it up.
from a couple weeks ago where the guy was like, "Don't you guys do any research?" For what? This? No. We're not researching.
I don't want to add anything on to that.
Cosmopolitics. Cosmopolitics is here, everybody. Yes. Fill-in
Good to
host.
see you, Christina.
Yes.
Hello.
You know, the other comment we got a couple weeks ago was, how come you guys never draw any conclusions? And I was like, are you like sitting around at a bar or a coffee shop with your buddies just shooting the breeze and you're like, whoa, guys, don't leave. We haven't drawn any conclusions yet.
Yeah.
No, I mean, just end the conversation and move on, right? That's what we're doing here.
I don't
Anyway.
understand. This is a very casual thing. Like, it's not like
Yeah.
when you're doing like your interviews where you probably obviously do like research and stuff like that. This is
Yeah.
more fun.
Yeah. You know what? That's why we do this show.
Yeah.
So we
Also-
don't have to do that.
Yeah. Also, Donald James. Yes, I'm multicasting on Twitch. So
Yeah. And let's just let everyone know, if you're in my chat, I have tweeted and pinned the Twitch link for Christina/Cosmopolitics. Please subscribe. Her subscriber counts have been going up. Her follows have been going up. She's on fire right now. We're very proud of her. She is, well, I would say that you're viral in a good way, right?
Yeah.
Would you agree?
yes, I'm the good weird. You know, like the Weird Al weird, not the I fucked the couch weird. But you know,
These guys got nothing. They got nothing.
yeah.
Hold on.
She's
Hold on a
becoming more
second.
potent, powerful. more bold.
Sandy. Hey, sorry. Sandy's camping, right?
Hey, Sandy.
Can you not hear us?
Can you hear us?
You might have to go out and come back in.
You may indeed.
But hold on. I should be typing that in the private chat.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Wait, if you could read lips, flash or shaft of flash. Sorry, I was messing with you.
Here, hopefully she sees that. But what were we saying?
Something about me. I don't know.
Definitely was. Private chat. Private chat. Private chat. Private chat. Hold on. I don't have a pen and paper.
I got you. Hold up.
Ha.
What is he doing? Is she writing too? That would be so funny.
There you go.
That's old school. The internet is good for nothing if you have to resort to that. There you go.
I
I'm gonna boot her.
don't know if you guys can't see, but let's see. I don't know. Let's see.
What do you got back there?
Look at that. Look who's back there. You see that little doink? Frankie.
Oh, yeah. Hello, guy.
Yeah, it's my baby.
So
Oh, wait.
the Republicans have nothing. is
Yeah,
what
on
we've
Tim
been saying.
Walz. It's kind of crazy.
She's in.
He's-
She's got her. Sorry, she's got her phone, so she can't see the private chat.
She's saying
I
Discord.
think. Oh,
Discord.
Discord.
I got
Hey,
it.
Christina, we're all professional streamers.
Hey, trust me. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, how do you must take so much to prepare for everything." I'm like, "Nah, I come up with what I'm doing when I'm typing up my title in OBS."
Yeah.
Like I don't really come up with a whole yeah. I did a Hot Ones challenge too.
Oh, I want to do that.
Oh my god, the bomb.
The,
So
wait,
You did all of them?
Yeah.
All of the hot ones? How did you do that? How'd you get them?
Amazon has like different seasons. I had like season 32, I think. Cardi B did the one that I ordered because I actually liked a lot of the sauces. Also
too.
Publix sells the buffalo sauce.
Yeah, I got from Publix, I got that one and the Los Calientes, I think.
Yeah.
I went
Barbacoas and
to
yeah.
Pucker Butt in Fort Mill, which is like 2 hours north of me. It's up by Charlotte.
Yeah.
Pucker
Yeah,
Butt.
it's really good. Really, really good.
Sandy, can you hear me?
Welcome back.
I can
Okay,
hear
hold-
you. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Sandy is radioing in from a remote location. Do you
Yeah.
have what kind of Wi-Fi are we talking about? Is there a hamster on a wheel or
It
is
is
somebody
actually-
holding a hanger nearby just
He's
off
got
camera?
a hanger. He's got a hanger. No, it's actually they've got Wi-Fi now set up for the guests in these tiny houses. I'm in the woods in a tiny house, and they've got electric now in here, and it's all like
Cool.
wired up, and it's beautiful. It's like a fairyland, fantasy land. It's near Ithaca, New York, and it's called
Oh,
Bugs in a Jar
lovely.
Farm. And the work that they've done here, that he's done here to make these places, it's incredible. And he's got the other ones rented out. They're gorgeous. 4 years.
That's
and
awesome.
built this place, yeah. Really
That's
nice.
killer. Okay, well, I'm glad that you're here and everything's working.
Makes
So
me want to
check
go
this out.
camping.
I know.
Yeah.
And we could talk. I don't know if this has come up before, but I hate camping.
Yes.
I'm
I did
glad-
that a few times.
There's a
if
bed
you-
in here.
If you want to go live out in the woods, I'm your guy. If you want to go out there for the weekend, why the fuck do I have a couch in a house and all that? I'm not going out there for one weekend.
Sleeping
So,
in a
I'm
tent.
visiting.
but I want to show this. We were talking about the Republicans and how they got nothing on Harrison Walsh. Look
Right.
at what they're putting out there. Check this out.
Yeah.
Does that look to you like an attack?
I do not get it. It's like
No,
He's
it's
like-
wonderful.
it's like they're trying to he's like not saying it's socialism, but it's like, he's like, oh, you think this is socialism, this is what actually, like
As soon as he said that, I tweeted it out and said, that's a pretty good line. We should be using this. And then I saw
Yeah.
this graphic today and I was like, I should have made a graphic like these guys. And I was like, wait a minute. That's the GOP Twitter account. This is supposed to be a bad thing.
yeah, their marketing for it's so good. And now they're trying to say he drank like horse semen. Like they're throwing
This
crap
just
at the
can't be
fan.
true. Yeah.
And it's not hitting a single blade, which means they're literally like in a pile of crap. So that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got outright lies or stuff that makes them look good.
Yeah, and then the one thing is that he brought the National Guard in for the Black Lives Matter protest, but and it's a big but that cannot lie. He regretted it. He admitted, he was like, it was not good of me to bring the National Guard. It was not a good idea. I regret it. I'm sorry. And I'm like, that's good. Also, too, a Boogaloo boy burned down the police station or whatever. So it's like,
Yeah.
like most of the
yeah.
violence
Areas.
was done by agitators.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number one, you're in a good position when you need to squint and look at the account to tell if it's an attack ad or something that the campaign itself put out.
Uh-huh.
Number two, I have not seen Tim Walz at any of my horse semen drinking conventions. So,
Oh, and you would know. I
My
was going to
God.
say you would know.
and attendance has been shockingly low. I would have recognized
Oh, that's too bad.
a major
Yeah,
politician.
he's just
there.
too
I mean,
cool.
Huh.
obviously,
Yeah.
JD Vance
I-
tried to get in, but we don't let him around because it's got
Yeah.
we have couches there. We like to keep.
He
it
was like
nice.
trying to stalk Kamala Harris at the at like the airport or whatever. I'm like, oh, so you're stalking women now, you creep? And everyone's saying that too. They're like, yeah, what are you stalking Kamala Harris for? What's wrong with you?
Somebody posted a picture last night of Walsh and Elon Omar and said, "This is going to be your new Secretary of Defense now." And I was like,
Cool.
"Don't threaten me with a good time."
Yeah,
what are you
what's
talking
really-
about?
Why not?
They've
And then, of
got,
course,
Well,
Awesome.
they've got
You guys
nothing.
wanna-
And if people listen to Governor Walz, they will really realize how good this is.
No
Yeah.
stocks or bonds or
Yeah.
book deals. He's the only person, like the only like Democrat probably like has no like. I mean, Bernie obviously he has book deals, but they got no like. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. I'm like, this guy could be like as middle class as he appears, but it's kind of true. Like he's not like some wealthy type of guy, and he's so normal and like down to earth. I mean, he was a teacher.
Yeah.
He was a coach.
Yes, they're not.
He was in the military.
They're not elitists. And for me, an older person, to see young progressives actually excited and enthused about someone like him and her, Kamala, but really about him, that's big, because we haven't been happy with anyone for how long? And it's bad.
Yeah.
So for me, the young people are who it's about.
Well, we thought we were happy with Obama, and then he picked Biden, and we were like, okay. And then they actually got in office, and we were like, disappointment. But look at what keeps coming up about the other guy.
Yeah.
I mean, if this was happening on our side, we would be like, get him out of here, right? But these guys are like, they try and spin it.
Insane.
They're like, well, he was talking about Ukraine and stuff. And it's like, why is he texting with a Holocaust denier at all? Like, fuck. There's not a good side to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyway.
Also, what's funny is that a lot of people are calling tampons him because he dare put tampons in boys and girls' bathrooms. A lot of people are like, oh my God. I'm like, there's no trans, like, man, like trans boy with the vagina. Like, no. All schools are required to put tampons, like in the nurse's office, at least. Not like it doesn't have to be the bathroom, but like when I got when I got my cycle in 5th grade in elementary school, they didn't have menstrual products. They had to implement menstrual products in the nurse's office because I was the only one with the menstrual cycle. So like,
that's just not cheap either.
Yeah, it's nothing new.
Young.
This is from Lance.
They're great. They're trying so hard to find something to complain about. I love it. Based on right-wing arguments, what's the worst thing about Tim Walz?
This is great.
I can't find anything bad.
Right.
It doesn't think children should starve. Thinks gays are cool and should have equal human rights. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness.
When I voted, one person's socialism is another's neighborliness got 38% of the vote. It was ahead. But anyway, I thought that was funny. But that's true. It's true.
Yeah. Now with the military thing, they're like, oh well, but he like didn't serve, or but I'm like, he was 19 when he started serving the National Guard. He served 24 years. He was in his 40s by the time the Iraq War happened. JD Vance only served like 6 months, and he wasn't even like. He said he never saw like battles or fire. He was just there to like
journalist.
to like chill or vibe or whatever. Like,
and by the way, I think which war matters. I think if you are you could be a draft dodger. If you were trying to dodge the Iraq War, you have my full support. You could just say, it was over nothing. I wasn't going to kill somebody for nothing. Annie Fitzgerald. Oh wait, what'd she say? I missed it.
I got to go start my laundry and grab some food. BRB. Oh. I love that. I love that line.
Well, yeah, and it's what's funny about that too is that like I have an uncle, a big MAGA chud. He never served, but he's like, I think, like how people have to serve in the IDF. He's like, kids should be serving the military, and I said, you've never. I'm like, you never even went to a boot camp, let alone serve. What are you talking about?
You know what kids should be required to do, like straight out of high school? Work in a restaurant for 3 months.
Yeah.
That I could see. Yeah.
Retail, like seriously, like any type of like job that like requires them to be interacting with people, having to learn sales, having to learn, communicate.
Go in the kitchen. It's sharp objects, open flames. So you got first aid, how to be safe. You got to follow a recipe. There's instructions. You got to work with a team. You got to take orders. You got to clean up after yourself. You come out of there, things are going to be different.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, are you wearing a Fantastic Four shirt?
Yeah.
I can't spoil that for Wolverine then for you.
Good.
No, but I'm gonna see it. I'm just not going to the theaters.
Oh, it's fun though. You get Deadpool cosplayers taking pictures with you.
Do you
It's so
know
fun.
how far I have to drive to get to a theater with actual seats?
Uh-oh.
Like, and
For me,
not,
it's about 40 minutes.
yeah, I'm
40
an hour.
minutes.
I got to get to Greenville. It's like
Yeah,
an
there's no. I don't
hour,
think there's any
hour
movie
10.
theaters.
My movie theater's right there.
You live in.
Yeah,
the city.
I wish I had that problem. We have one. It's just not good. I heard
Wow.
they renovated it. I haven't checked it out, but last time I was there, I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, ours
This
is
is
small. It's a
terrible.
Regal.
Oh,
and they're
it's
like, we brought in reclining seats, and I'm like, there's no button. What do you mean by reclining seats? You mean like depending on your weight, you lean back, they go back a little. I'm like, that's not reclining seats. I'm sorry.
I've got
The
a
last
request.
the
You
last 2 movies I saw in the theater were
Huh.
Joker and then The Batman.
Oh, well, are you excited for the Penguin
Oh.
show?
Yeah, definitely. I really am.
too.
And there's a new Batman animated series where wow, the chat just started cruising. A Batman animated series now by J.J.
I
Abrams
can't see
and
Yeah.
Matt Reeves, and Penguin's female.
Oh my god! And Renee's
Everyone's
a
losing it.
lesbian.
Yeah, everyone's flipping out.
They're
It's
making
like
fun of their weight, and I'm like,
Alfred is overweight, which I think is who cares, right? Like who cares? I don't know. What are you showing, Jake? What is
Just
that?
footage
How
of
does he-
me
how
acquiring
does he
movies.
do that?
Sorry.
Oh, cool.
he
It
feels
was so
left out.
delayed. It was
Just
so
remember we got
delayed, it was just-
demonetized for Carson.
Oh, good. All right, never mind.
Fucker.
But I'm
I
excited
can't
about-
believe Carson.
Wait, Carson as in
Yeah, that was weird.
Johnny Carson.
Johnny Carson.
Old Johnny Carson.
oh what?
That's so.
Well, yeah. Some if you're
I
streaming
ruined
on
the vibe.
YouTube,
I hear
you can't react to YouTube content unless they allow it. Like Hassan
Yeah.
and like I'm like seriously.
Okay, people are asking where Andrea is. Andrea couldn't make it tonight.
Right.
Um,
We should have done the leftist mafia and said we're replacing her with Christina.
But Frankie's here.
Frankie's
go.
here. That should more than make up for it.
Oh,
No,
I'm-
Andrea says that she's the what is it? Has a controlling share or controlling shares in
Oh, yeah, that's
Left
true.
Past 10 Industries. She can come and go as she pleases. Okay.
Yeah, people
She
that know
owns
the
us.
deep lore would have known it was nonsense, but you know.
She requires us to be here. She's like, guys, I can't make it, but all of you have to be in attendance and call
glamping.
Christina.
in the woods.
Yeah.
With
And you're
Wi-Fi,
glamping.
My iPad. Yeah, I'm really glamping. I've got my iPad, my phone. It's like I'm, and
Yeah.
they hooked up Wi-Fi here for the glampers. It's
Because
It's
Andrea
Airbnb.
called them and said she has work to do. You have to
Sam
provide Wi-Fi.
left. He left. I said, "I'm sorry. I have to go on Left Past 10 tonight. I'm not in the Doomosphere tonight. I'm with my progressive,
That's awesome.
wonderful,
That's awesome.
people that I love so much."
See, that's why I'd be
Oh,
like, fuck
I'm
camping.
glad.
Okay, guys, do you mind? Because I had a comic come out today and I
Yeah.
want to talk about it. Is that okay?
That's all you
let's
want
do
about
We're
it.
excited.
Yeah.
USAC approved, I hear.
I'm gonna put myself.
Yeah,
on
John
mute.
Cusack tweeted the comic out today.
Oh, Matt.
I know. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Be very.
So
very
if
proud.
if
All right, I'm
if
gonna
you,
be quiet.
oh, okay, I mean you don't have to. But if
I'll
you
be
go to
allowed to
common
make up for it.
if you go to commondreams.org under opinion, or I could post the link. I mean, just go to my Twitter or Blue Sky or anywhere. I'm posting this all over. So is Harvey K. Harvey K, Professor Harvey J. K, leftist darling, right? And friend of this show and my show. He and I made a comic and we worked on this for a while. We talked about it on the members only live stream. We talked about it on this show a little bit, but we were really trying to keep the cards close to the chest. And today it's out there. If you go to commondreams.org under the opinion section, you will see our comic, A New Economic Bill of Rights for the 21st Century. There is this fantastic opening by Harvey. He did some writing, right? And then you get down to the comic and you can scroll through it like a slideshow. I'm so happy with how legible it is on phones and monitors, like computer monitors alike. They really came through for us on that website. and we're so happy with how it turned out and that it landed there. We pitched it to several places, and for one reason or another, that just wouldn't work out. And these guys were they jumped at it, so we were very happy it ended there. I do want to just sort of scroll through it real quickly, if that's okay. This is, I encourage everyone to, we need to get hits on this website because Harvey and I don't want to stop here. We want to keep going. But this comic covers the continuing struggle for a new economic Bill of Rights from when FDR first proposed it all the way to right now. Harvey and I are characters, as you may see, in the comic. We are in the comic. We are, it's a very meta experience. Now, Harvey was opposed to that. And I mean, to be frank, I pitched the idea to him in the first place. And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have to sell it to this guy. So I just started drawing stuff and sending it to him. And little by little, I brought him around until he was like, yeah, I'm starting to see it. And then I did a cartoon of he and I talking about the comic. And he was like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, this is going to work. So a lot of our interaction in the comic is real life interaction that he and I had while making the comic. He would talk, the guy's a historian. He would say, here's exactly what we need to put on this page. And then I would find a way to take funny things from our conversation and put them in there. So when I sent the art back to him, he was like, oh, we just talked about that today. This is great. Right. So it's relative to our process and our conversation. It's not just us being like, we made the comic, we should be in the comic, which would be weird. So it's definitely not that. But it starts out with this prologue where we talk about why we should make a comic and why people should be talking about an economic Bill of Rights ongoing. And then we introduce it and talk about why this isn't already a thing. Because I think anybody that reads this list of 10 rights, suggested rights, will say to themselves, how come this isn't already a thing? This is nothing
True.
here that you would say, well, we just can't have that. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
And then we go way back to the beginning.
FDR.
And we talk about how FDR addressed it more than once, over 4 terms. And there we are in our sort of like fictional workspace. I had it like we were just like in some apartment. And then we started talking about how afterward progressives throughout history would take up the cause. And then we'd start to segue into the naysayers and the people who were opposed to it. We talk about how the Democrats in the 60s picked it up as their platform for Kennedy and Johnson. And then also how the civil rights movement embraced it. And then how Lyndon B. Johnson did as well. And then we get into the neoliberals. And this is where we start to get into all the reasons why it has been oppressed, and everything is being oppressed. And this is really where I think folks like ourselves would be like, yeah, these people are trying to prevent us from having it, like actively prevent us from having better individual socioeconomic circumstances. And then we talk about present day, like real people who are going without because we don't have this, struggling. And these are real cases here. Talk about how wages go or profits go up, wages remain stagnant. Then we talk about all the protests that have been going on. We talk about Bernie Sanders bringing it up. And then we talk just that one little panel about a new kind of politician was cultivating a new kind of politics. And, this is just for me personally, like when we start talking about protests and all the different movements that are springing up over recent years, I put us down there as if we were walking home from a protest talking about how Bernie would have won. And Harvey said, I don't want to put that in there. Let's not put that in there. And I was like, okay, but I'll convince you it should be in there by the end of this conversation. And so by the time we got to the end of the page, I was like, so what should we be doing when we have this conversation? And he goes, no, this is exactly perfectly right. We should have this.
That's one of the things I like about this comic. Every time it cuts to you guys, it cuts to something that I feel like the left is going through. If it's just sitting in a bar, fine. if it's or at a coffee shop, fine. If it's just sitting around some IKEA furniture, fine. But also, like, these are the conversations you have when you're walking home from a from a protest. A
Right.
thing we have to do
Right.
constantly if we want human beings to be treated with any sort of dignity. It feels like what it is, a conversation in the middle of a long, seemingly unending fight that should not be necessary, but is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we want the readers to live through us, but we represent the reader more often. What were you
Yeah.
gonna say, Christina?
I like the fact that you're making basically a political, an educated political story via, like, through comics, because a lot of people love comics, and they're gonna love this because I think that this
Yeah.
is a very smart idea because it makes it entertaining at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like by the end we want people to be educated on it, but if you do just a straight I encourage everyone to go read Harvey's books. There's like 14 or 15. Go out there and read all these books. You will only benefit. But if we just did that again in comic form, to me, it would be slightly redundant. So we should put ourselves in there in the hopes that people would be like, well, I like these characters talking about it. Because I'm very much his Pancho Villa. You know what I mean? Like, I am the
Yeah.
sidekick in these. Like, I'm constantly being like the butt of the joke, like putting myself in that situation and having him be like, okay, whatever. Like, there's many
Mhm.
moments where he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, anyway, I don't want to spoil it, but
Will
we
you
want
be,
to do a full-on graphic novel, and so I think that it would
Yeah.
make sense if people afterward were like, oh, we like the characters as much
Mhm.
as what you're doing. So then we talk about how the original Common Dreams opinion piece by Harvey and Alan Minsky of Progressive Democrats of America, I think that's what it's called, PDA. They wrote
And my
they
school.
constructed these. They made these. They figured out what the Economic Bill of Rights for the 21st century specifically should be. So we cover that, and this is all real life stuff. And they, put it out in front of a bunch of people like Sarah Nelson, Nina Turner, and just wanted to get their opinions and input. And then here we just roll them out, right? And here it is, like,
Yep.
Harvey is
Nice.
saying, I said to draw these on banners. These look more like curtains, no? And I go, nah, these have the pointy things at the bottom. Like, we're debating on whether these look like banners or curtains. Like, that's sort of like a real life thing to happen, So I wanted to put it in there. And then,
Oh, yeah.
and then it ends with present day, and something that I have been saying, which was inspired by Harvey and his writing, is that really the right people to pick up a new economic bill of rights. Yes, it should be a politician. Yes, it should be a president. If they're not going to do it, it should be the labor movement. The labor movement should pick up and run with anything that politicians and government aren't doing but should.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And so then, that's sort of, we leave it in the hands of the people. But anyway, it's super cool. We're so glad to have been doing it. It's really, for me personally, and this is the last thing I'll say about it and we can move on. But for me personally is I have been drawing people that I know my whole life. And when I started doing it to promote left-wing media, people sort of liked it. So I did it more and more. And then I started thinking, like, maybe I should do like political editorial cartoons. And I don't think politics is funny. I'm not going to make jokes. I don't want it to be, haha, making fun of politicians. I mean, I do that sometimes to make fun of people on the right, but that's not my style. And so, like, when this came about,
like
I was like, this is exactly what I should be doing as making comics. This is exactly what I want to do. So anyway, 11 pages right there, pulled it
It's
off.
beautiful. Are you
Yeah.
going to be? Would this be something that's going to be tangible to hold as a gift to enlighten others? Will it be in color? I mean, this is something I would love to give to others. It's
Yeah,
beautiful, and what a message.
what I want to do is, with this and maybe some other ones like this, produce them, put them online, see how they do, and then use that as a pitch for a book to like a publisher. And then I think that it would make sense to reprint these as part of that book.
Totally.
So the idea is to do, and every time Harvey's like, how long should the book be? And I'm like, 200 pages minimum. Let's go, man. Let's do it.
Mhm.
And he's like, that's a lot. And I was like, okay, look, we packed a lot. We did a very artful means of packing in a lot of information on each one of these 11 pages, right? I mean, we covered all of the 60s on one page. I was like, in a graphic novel, that would be like 10 pages minimum.
Yeah.
And so he was like, oh, and I was like, yeah, we'll get to 200 pages pretty quickly.
Yeah, so that's why it's good to, you want to do the comic first, see how well it does, and then do that graphic novel.
I mean, this is
Yeah.
groundbreaking, really.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a success.
Me too.
Cool.
I'm really happy to tag along on the ride.
Yeah, I'll buy it, and then like, oh, I can read it. Oh my God, I just saw a good idea. I could read it on stream.
There you go. That'd be
Hey.
great. I love that idea.
I hear it.
Well, and so Harvey and I are going to start doing press now. We're going to be talking about this on upcoming podcasts, Leftist Mafia, Majority Report,
Busy bee.
This is Revolution podcast, and others that we're putting together now. But yeah, so we're going to be out there talking about this all over the place. We encourage everyone to keep sharing it. And it's not like now and then forget about it. Put it off. Don't worry about this comic for a few weeks or a month and then put it out there, because this is the kind of thing that we need to keep putting in front of people on a regular basis. Look, if you look at Jen Perlman running against Debbie Wasserman Schultz in Florida. If you go to her website and look at her issues, it's basically the Economic Bill of Rights. It would be very easy for any progressive politician to just grab those and go, this is what I fucking want. I'll never forget, Harvey was on the show. We read them on air, and people in the chat were like, oh my God, this is all I ever say. Like, we should have, like, this is not a big deal. We should have all this stuff right now.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree. And by the way, freaking thrilled by Jen Perlman right now. What a hero of the moment. Dude, you knocked it out of the park with this comic. I'm glad it's still. First of all, you look at it, you can see instantly this is the Letterhacks art style. I like that. That in and of itself is going to be advertisement. And second, I've been whinging for months that we need a way to do essentially this. We need a way to quickly fill in the normies on the history of what we're talking about, the context of what we're talking about. This is it. This is great. If you want to quickly understand why progressives are saying we need a new Economic Bill of Rights, for example, boom, there you go. Well done.
Thanks.
Yeah. When you get to the section on climate and environment, I can definitely chime in a little for help.
Oh yeah,
and not negatively. I promise.
Do the same thing. You and Harvey going around. It's like the Letter Hack, but an extended comic version. Heck yes.
Why not? Yeah. Yes, this comic is at commondreams.org. If you slide over to my chat, you'll see I'll post a link for it there. But it's,
I'll make sure I put it in.
Yeah, or any social media or whatever. It's totally free. Just to make that completely clear.
The community tab.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's 11 pages, completely free. Today, somebody was like in Canada and they couldn't get the link to work from Instagram for some reason. And I was like, they hit me up in a DM and I was like, well, here's the PDF. And they're like, oh, no, I don't want it for free. And I was like, it's fucking free. We're not going to sell a comic about the Economic Rights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
If we do like a 200-page graphic novel, yeah, I mean, we got to get paid for that because that's like a lot of time. But
yeah, it's like free advertising in the way, spreading like word of mouth almost. Like that's how my mom and I get like our cleaning customers. I mean, she should make like business cards, but like, she's getting older and she really shouldn't be doing like physical labor. And I don't feel like doing that. But like, you gotta do what you gotta do.
This is my activism. You're not gonna see me in the streets with picket signs or whatever. I'm not that guy marching. I will support every single
I'm
one
a
of you who
marching
does.
gal.
But this is my activism. I'm drawing it and trying to put it out there for
Yeah.
the masses to absorb. Somebody said, I think it was my dad was like, we were talking about this is months ago, so I can't remember. And then he said something along the lines of, do you ever feel like you're held back because you didn't go to college and get a degree? And I was like, Dad, I'm working side by side with a college professor. Everything's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's like my snarky way of being like, I don't need to go to college.
Yeah.
But it is kind of cool because I'm getting a firsthand education. Every time Harvey's like, look, let me just give you some backstory. I'm like, okay. I didn't even have to sign up for this. This is amazing. It's
Yeah.
like free lecture.
It's
so cool.
like when of course I was doing like technical college to get like, like all my credits out of the way for like a psychology major, but I had to stop because my dad had a mini stroke, and he couldn't work for a while. So I had to help my mom with the clean business. It's supposed to be temporary, but here we are now. But like I learned doing this, I wanted to be like a psychiatrist or a counselor. But then when I found out what live streaming was, I'm like, oh, I can use those type of skills in public speaking and my psych and doing all that to do this.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly it's working out too, man. You've been I hear tell.
Mehdi Hassan retweeted one of my tweets. Olay followed me.
Really?
Yes. I was like, oh, this is so good.
That's awesome.
The progressive network it's got to grow and be stronger.
Yeah.
And Jake, when I heard you earlier saying on your show that, for these PACs to spend $23 million to defeat a primary progressive, then progressives are definitely a force to be reckoned with. And some losses are going to happen, but the movement is going strong. I mean, we have to feel that way, because I think the way I look at things. So it's kind of like the last shot.
It is. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're really not.
It has to happen. We don't have the time. We have a pretty bad climate crisis and things are really going to shit fast, but this is the time.
Yeah, I heard from, the anonymous news, whatever. They're like, rumor has it Trump's gonna drop out in October, and Emma's like, the October surprise and October surprises. I'm like, it wouldn't pass me to think he's probably just gonna quit because he just can't recover. I mean, comparing the rallies between him and Kamala's is like night and day, because they got packed arenas, and he's got like a gymnasium, and she's able to, she's probably reading teleprompters, and Tim Walz had to learn how to read a teleprompter because he's a really good public speaker. I guess he does his own speeches or whatever. But they did pretty well. But like, how Trump's like, he just looks at the thing like this and talks like this for like minutes, and then he just moves and does this. Meanwhile, they're looking around and, more natural. He sounds so boring. He sounds so bored and tired of doing this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he does. I think even he's sick of him right now. I think he would love to go back to
do this.
He has been leaning into his personality as a brand to the point where it's become a caricature. And what he should, I feel like he wants reinvention, but it's too late now.
Yeah, like if I was looking, I don't know, I was bored and I was looking at Melania's Wikipedia page. She was the one who convinced him to run for president, like the final nail in the coffin for him to run. And she's looking into their relationship. They sleep in separate rooms. She's more of like a standby, but somewhat, back away from her man. Yeah, like stand back and stand by type of situation. Like. So I'm like,
stand back and buy your man. I like that. Yeah.
I'm assuming she knows about the affairs, and that's why their marriage kind of like soured like within a year after they got married, because she kind of has no choice in a way. Even though they got like 3 prenups, she's like, I'm kind of stuck here, so I might as well just focus on Barron, and that's it. I will give her credit. She loves Barron, wants to shield him away from all the crap that his idiot sons have done.
Yeah.
Truly.
Weren't they going to try and make him a delegate or something like that?
And he's like, nah, I'm good.
Um, I'll never forget when the kids pranked Trump into thinking his rally was going to be huge and then it wasn't. Remember that?
Yeah.
You remember it was a bunch of high schoolers and Sam asked his daughter, "Did you have anything to do with that?" And she's like, "Yeah, we're going to get Barron out next." Or something like that. And I was like, that sounds like a cool like Goonies thing to
That
do, right?
sounds like
But
that. I guess the
I don't know.
political, the passion for politics, runs in the family for the Cedars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're like,
Well,
we got to
actually,
save that kid.
Well, Saul is in
I
the comics,
saw
but
episode with his son that
True.
he didn't, his face wasn't
Oh,
on,
yeah.
but that was, they were
That was
too
great.
cute. And his
take
kid was
long
like,
poops.
Dad, he's giving it to him. I'm like, yeah. Reminded me of my kid when she was that age. She was just a snarky, and I loved it. It was great.
yeah,
When they
it's
grow-
funny.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this will hit with everybody, but when they grow up, they're going to be exactly like that. Like when Saul grows up, he's going to be exactly like Dr. Katz and his son Ben. If you guys
He's
remember that
already
show.
saying pause it when he's watching stuff on like
Yes.
Sam mentioned that before. I was like, oh God, is that genetic too? Like, I think it was cute. The one time Mila called in, she's like, we were at a protest. And he was like, that was cute. I was like,
Yeah,
great.
you're gonna have to, look. I hope you like these kids because you're gonna have to be a stepmom here.
yes,
Brace
I'm
yourself.
excited.
Oh yeah. Hey,
I'm gonna be
do
the
you
cool
think?
stepmom.
Do you think? I love how Christine is like, I'm in. Do you think Trump is going to drop out, or
No.
I mean, because would I guess what I'm asking is, would he ever miss the opportunity to scream rigged election, and does that work now?
Oh, he'll drop out and still scream rigged election. Whatever the biggest punk
I'm
move
scared
is,
they
that's what
are
he'll do.
going to rig the election.
Yeah,
I'm scared that we have to really be diligent. I think all of us progressives should be polled election
Yeah.
inspectors and go get trained in our counties and get
Yeah,
involved
good point.
because I
Yeah.
was. And it's a very important thing not to have it just be always these, people always say, oh, it's just the old people doing it. No, I think we should be there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think. I mean, he didn't want to be president.
Going to.
Honestly, like he was not prepared. I mean, shout out to Cody Johnson for some more news. He, I think, wasn't he the one who broke down? No, it was John Oliver breaking down like Project 2025, and he explained that Jared Kushner went to once they won the election. Jared Kushner went to Obama's team, and he's like, we get to keep you, all of your staff, you guys, and all the cabinet positions and judges, right? And the guy was like, no, you have to come up with your own people. And he's like, oh, like they didn't know the whole entire process, the transitioning and all that. Like it was so funny to me because that's why so many people, it was like a revolving door with Trump's,
Paul
picks.
Manafort started.
Yeah.
But he knew, Paul Manafort knew, but no, he was just placed. He was a placed position.
Yeah.
I think
Also, I update on the Kamala thing. She met with uncommitted folks in private before the rally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I'm like,
that's cool. They had one
disappointed
tonight
in
didn't
the
they?
lack of organization there.
Where?
from
I
the
feel like
uncommitted
you
folks.
need to win Michigan. Like I feel like Michigan is like you gotta win Michigan. Like I don't even care about winning Pennsylvania. Like who cares? Kamala with Tim Walz can take over the Midwest again. Like I feel like that's important.
I don't think you
Democrats
can
to consider.
expect
Yeah, agreed.
more organization from the uncommitted votes. It seemed pretty organized state to state, not like nationally. You know what I mean? Like, but it was a kind of thing that was, what'd they do? Let's do it, and it was already happening. The primaries were upon them. But I think if it were to ever happen again, and that's what I was expecting from the general, was that it would be way more organized.
Well,
yeah.
If people who haven't really understood what it means for Tim Walz to be selected as the vice president, thank you, Morbius Dragon, don't spoil it for us. It would appear that Kamala Harris is open to appointing major positions to lefties. I got a round table question for y'all.
Hope so.
Who would you like to see in other positions? My vote, Attorney General. I want my state's Attorney General, Dana Nessel. Do you guys have any like Secretary of State, Defense?
I think it would be funny if Ilhan Omar was Secretary of Defense.
I think she'd be genuinely good at it.
Yeah, or putting
I think there
Cory
could be.
Bush in charge of like the housing, like like that. Considering she basically slept on the steps of the Capitol to talk about like home like unhoused people. Like,
Yeah, didn't we have a thank you, my gal Dana Nessel. Here's all right. I'll give you the pitch. Here's Dana Nessel. When nobody else, including the Secretary of State in Georgia, was willing to go after fake electors, she came out on TV and said, "I have heard from my constituents," which she had from at least one. "I've heard from my constituents. They are not satisfied with Merrick Garland. They are not satisfied with the lack of progress after there was an attempted coup in this country. I am going to pursue a case against the fake electors that were in my state. I would have preferred she go all the way to the top, go after Trump, all that, but can't be denied she was first out of the gate. When a bunch of Terrys tried to kidnap my governor, I was working in a newsroom, got an email from Dana Nessel saying, be ready tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. I said, oh, press conference. We just arrested the Wolverine Watchman. He has got a record of kicking butt, of being fair, of being not afraid to go after somebody just because they are rich or powerful or connected in any way. Dana Nessel for U.S. Attorney General.
Well, then there has to be like a hashtag, a movement, and social media pressure and getting her name out there. That's
Sure,
That's why they picked Walz. I mean, it was so much social media pressure. I mean, everywhere I went on social media,
the leftists, everyone's like the online leftists had we had everything to do, because let me tell you guys something. Everyone's like Josh Shapiro. I'm like, look, listen, with Josh Shapiro, he compared college students protesting the investing
KKK.
colleges, KKK. He said that public colleges who divest from Israel should no longer receive public funding. That means colleges will probably close.
Yeah.
But then he has a Me Too problem with his staff, who's also Republican, and
Covered
then
up
the
for murder,
fact
apparently.
what happened with the murder? He said he.
Yeah. So this is what happened. So his friend who gave money to his campaign stabbed a Jewish teacher, 20 times in the back of the head, because there was an arrangement with pay or whatever with Josh Shapiro as Secretary of State. Not Attorney General, he covered it up and said it was a suicide. And I'm like, how do you kill yourself by stabbing yourself in the back of the head? And so Pennsylvania Supreme Court's going to reopen the case again. So I'm like, Josh Shapiro could probably be in prison.
What?
So I want to be clear. What my understanding? Yeah, it is a real possibility.
Shapiro is going to be in prison.
He could be.
I want to be clear.
I've got to read about that.
Is that he said he saw what happened and he didn't actually see what happened.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Oh.
He took it a step too far. He should have. Yeah, it was dumb. There. Every time they pick cabinet positions, I personally am like, who are these people?
Yeah.
And then I watch the Majority Report, and it's like, Sam knows who all these people are. These are all the dastardly bastards in the back.
From 5 years ago with all of them.
Yeah.
And they help fill in the blanks. I think, and I'm always hesitant to have pipe dreams. I think like Jamal Bowman and Cory Bush would be pipe dreams.
Yeah.
But they're available.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be like, suck it, AIPAC. Like that would be like the bittersweet revenge.
It would be.
I don't know if we're there.
Why not? Here's let me throw this out there.
We should be.
But we're not.
Let me throw this out there. If we start having the conversation first, then any conversation that happens after it is a response to what we're saying. So when they put up some, weak-chinned little nothing like Merrick Garland, oofa doofa. When they put up, when people start
went
putting
there
in,
with her too.
When people start putting in their suggestions that are alternative to ours, they're going to have to be making the case of, well, we don't want this person, again, mentioning our pick. We want this person, which immediately means it's now a conversation between these two. That's why I'm saying we should get out there early and start thinking about these things and start talking about these things.
Yeah.
So people can say, I've been hearing a lot of good things about.
So and so. Katie Porter for Secretary of Education.
There you go. Yes, I like
right.
that.
There's
She is
Right.
like
There's
she is
options.
Katie Porter is a former
a
teacher,
lot of
right?
talent. And
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
said Sheldon Whitehouse
Yeah.
for the environmental czar. There has to be
New-
somebody that's really targeted for this.
Yeah, he's really. I like him. He's very tough. Like I literally said, put White House in the White House, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's a good slogan if you ever run
Yeah,
for
well,
president."
He exposed
like-
dark money along with Jane Mayer in the book Dark Money, and Bernie Sanders, and he opened us up to what he does. He's been doing as a senator a climate change series, and they're on YouTube for years talking
True.
about sea level rise because Rhode Island is a very vulnerable state. He knows his shit.
There's a great Sheldon Whitehouse interview on Pondering Politics website or YouTube channel right now. It's brand new.
Oh,
It's
good.
awesome. We want that thing to go viral. It's very
Put the
good.
link
So
in.
everyone check that
Put
out.
in the show.
You can find it. He has 365,000 followers. People can find that channel. Pondering Politics. You can find it.
All right.
I retweeted it. There's only so much I'm willing to do.
You retweeted it?
Yeah, which I never do.
Yeah, I
Other
know.
than
I
Richard-
was like shocked. I'm shocked. I've been I retweeted your new work for sure.
Thank you.
Out of
Yeah.
curiosity, other than Richard Ojeda and obviously Tim Walz, do we know of a person that progressives like with a military background?
Richard's nuts.
I can't
I
really
don't
think
like
of anyone.
Richard is
Right?
he's over the top sometimes.
Jason Crow.
that's-
Jason
Who?
Crow from Colorado.
Okay. Let's start thinking seriously about this. Jason Crow
Jason
right
Crow's
now,
great.
he's at the top of my list then. That's who I think Secretary
Because
of
it
Defense.
appeals to
Well, look into him.
centrist.
Yeah.
No,
Um,
but I think that's the sort of way we should be going. I think we should be thinking of, especially for those progressives that just got knocked out, like Bowman and like Bush. I think we should be thinking, all right, what other positions can be appointed? Because if we have a strong opinion about this, or we put out a strong opinion, it makes it part of the conversation.
Yeah.
So invested in
And there's
Bowman.
just so and this is why Jared Kushner and Trump, they were not expecting to win. And so it's like, at least with Democrats, they're like, we're prepping for a team. We're going to be ready. We're not going to have like a constant revolving door, because there's so many positions, judges, probably, the fail because
Yes.
so many Trump appointed judges, got pushed through and shit hasn't been good since.
I want to put out a message to the homosexual prostitutes of the world. If you have blackmail on some of these conservative judges, it wouldn't be blackmail to me. I'm pro prostitution and cock when you can. But if you've got blackmail on any of these judges, maybe encourage them to retire so that we could appoint some proper judges.
Well, I mean, look what happened to Madison Cawthorn. He's like, yeah, the GOP has like cocaine-fueled like orgies, which if you ever watch Gaslight, I think it's the movie, it's a TV show and stars about Watergate.
Ooh.
Dan Stevens played one of the John Dirt. What was his name? So I forgot what his name was, but like John Dean, I think.
Yeah.
Who was kind of like the guy responsible for like mentioning
from
G. Gordon Liddy.
Watergate, yeah.
There's a scene where he's invited to like at like the Republican National Convention, I think, and it's like a sex-fueled, drug-fueled orgy of party. And I'm like, oh my God, this has been happening for decades.
They crashed Grinder. Look,
Yeah.
check it out. Check it out. Trump is now the ultimate politician because he has realized that all he has to do to make money is be in politics and go, woe is me. Look what they're doing to me. They're coming after me. And he banks.
But I'm a billionaire.
He makes so much money doing this. He will do this and just do. How else, if he retired from politics, how would Trump make money? Real estate? No.
Yeah.
How would he
I
do
think
it?
the way he is, the way he stayed afloat for the
Liquidate.
last
It's
What he
crowdfunding.
has.
decades, laundering money for Russians.
take
what he
his
would
kids' inheritance, because why not? Just give him Trump, the Trump business, and it's just that's it.
Look,
up.
this is what I'm saying. This sort of expectation is misplaced, my friend.
Yes.
Unless he's talking to people in the chat. If he's talking to us, don't assume we have.
Yeah. It's like with the argument about like the Olympics, and I'm like, you guys have been watching the Olympics for decades, and now you're concerned about masculine women being trans. Like I'm like, Simone Biles is getting transvestigated. And it's
Geez, that stuff makes me so furious.
yeah, people don't understand. I'm like, depending on what sport you're doing, you have to have a certain physical, look. If you're boxing, muscles. The Italian girl didn't have muscles. I saw a video of her bench pressing 10 pounds, and I'm like, no wonder you lost. And I saw the video of the 46 seconds. All that, the Algerian did was just do this.
Oh
Boop.
my God, that
But
whole
not like,
situation,
like
how it became, it's a non-situation, and the right wing and media has nothing, so they're accusing this person of being trans when it's the country that she comes from is oppressive and horrible, and she could never be that. Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, and
what
if
was
she were that,
Can you put that back up?
if she were that, it would be her life. Yeah, it's dangerous to do to her.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
When I shared that link with you, and thank you for putting it up, I just wanted to point out the way Trump makes his money is money laundering.
Yeah.
This it wasn't an accident when he opened a bunch of casinos and they failed. They had done their job already. They transfer money for people. They clean money.
Yeah, people are like, "Oh, Trump's a businessman, a good businessman." I'm like, he bankrupt casinos that he owned. How do you bankrupt a casino?
Yeah, he got bailed out.
He uses them as fronts for money laundering. We keep seeing all these things that go bankrupt, and then we move on. We got to stop moving on. That what I was just showing you is a one such thing. He was about to be done, destitute, because of the situation around that old post office building. He sold it, which was it was a liability to him because he was going to have to pay the lease, but yet he sold it for a record-breaking amount of money to a Miami firm with connections to Russia.
Yeah,
he sold it for a record-breaking amount of money.
There's always
Bask in this for a moment. If it was a liability, you at least could have got it for maybe not 375 million. Maybe you buy it for 100 million. So why did he get that much? This dude is an actual criminal, is the only point I'm making.
You think?
Yeah.
He's an actual criminal.
Yeah.
And they love him.
It's always so funny when people are like, "Are you voting for Trump?" I'm like, "No, I got my own personal beef with him. He fucking harassed me for a full week because I called him overrated."
Do you think that video is real? Should we show it that we were talking about earlier? Oh, maybe you hadn't seen it, Jake.
I don't know if I have. I've been off the.
Well, there is this. The thing is, there's this thing that's very common on TikTok where dudes just approach women and like harass them. Like it's a market that's huge and profitable. Unfortunately,
I feel like this is real. Let's just watch this quickly. I feel like it probably is real, which is bad. Check this guy out.
Would you mind being in a video?
I'm filming, so I guess.
Would you mind being in a video?
I'm filming, so I guess.
What are your thoughts on Donald Trump?
I think that he's a criminal. Probably shouldn't be running for president.
I think you're a fucking bitch. Would you mind being in a
Like,
video?
Oh, I don't know.
totally normal behavior, not weird or creepy at all. Like,
It wasn't
wow.
I'd believe
If somebody did that to my
Somebody
wife,
was filming it.
fucking done, man.
yeah.
Let me say this. If they were acting, it was good acting. And so I don't believe that a Trump supporter is capable of good acting. So
I feel like I recognize that guy. There was a guy who was going to like bookstores and saying, "Why do you have this stuff here? Don't you guys know that Jesus was against this?" And they're like,
maybe
"What?"
it's the same guy.
Yeah.
Just
It
started
might be.
I would be like, speaking of Jesus, here's a book about genocide, incest, famine. Like, I'll be like
King
Walter
James
Masterson.
Bible.
Like, I would be like him. That dude's awesome.
Yeah.
He's been copying the Dave Wright stuff. God, I'm like, this dude makes sense. The one video he said, So conservatives accuse teachers of being groomers, but at the same time want to give teachers who are groomers guns. And got it.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
planet does this make sense?
None of
Yeah.
it. It's like
Oh
I
my
was saying
God.
when we watched that video of Trump at the National Association for Black Journalists last week,
Oh God.
when he on half the time he's saying Mexico is emptying their insane asylums and sending everyone here, and they're emptying their jails and sending them here. And then the other half of the time he's going, Mexico is sending immigrants here to take all of your jobs.
You mean agricultural jobs that white folks refuse to do?
Well, but the insane
Apparently
asylum
reporters.
patients and the criminals are going to come
Oh,
over
yeah.
here and
I
be
would
journalists now.
really
There's no
like
way. It's so
what
silly.
journalist who is actually fact checking, who is contacting the different countries and asking for data. Now, there was another
Yeah, there's no
thing.
empirical evidence.
well,
Or even the
there's also-
fentanyl. Fentanyl's not coming from the border, believe it or not. Like, it's not coming from China through
Yes.
the border.
U.S. citizens are bringing it. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. But did you know, there was also a thing they want to call Kamala the border czar, right? And it's not true. What she was tasked with, and the media never covered her, she was tasked with analyzing the countries people are coming from, looking at the socioeconomic demographics, looking at the environment that they're coming from. Why are they leaving? But the media never told anybody. People kept saying, well, where was she for all these years? What was she doing? We never saw her because the media didn't cover her.
Mhm.
They didn't cover the story. They didn't cover the work she was doing, to identify why people are coming like this. And that's
And
the critical thing.
Fox-
How can the United States help those countries if they
And
can?
Fox just allows their guests to lie. They say,
Yeah.
we don't lie. All we do is invite people on, let them tell an obvious lie, a known lie, and then we say nothing. We go,
Newsmax,
wow.
NOAN.
And then they
same
do also lie.
Also, whose idea from the Trump team was it to bring Stephen Miller back on camera?
Wow, yeah.
He was on
God, yeah.
MSNBC and Fox. I'm like, this dude is
He's an
really
out
out
Nazi,
here
though,
using like borderline racial slurs and like he's not good on camera
he is
because he's so creepy and he's really, really bigoted. Like they need someone who's like a good talker to like
Plausible
like-
deniability.
yeah, talk about Project 2025 but in a way that doesn't sound scary to like everyone, like
Yeah. This last push, I think I see what their strategy is now. I think Trump always knew, always suspected he wasn't going to win. I think there was a couple of weeks again after the debate where he was like, oh, I might win legitimately. And he was very happy. But I don't think his plan was to win ever legitimately.
yeah.
I think he's just hoping that there is enough evil within this country. There's enough plants in the Fox watching people in the military, etc., who will give him the election. I think that's what he's hoping for. He's hoping to raise a ruckus. I also
Are
think
these
he's
polls-
panicking because he tried it before and it didn't work.
We
Yeah.
talked about this a lot with John last night. I keep thinking about this. Are these polls too close for you guys? Because no matter what, people, even when they're like, "Oh my God, look at this poll that shows Trump just getting stomped," not really stomped
No.
compared to what it was before or in previous years. It's a lot, but
Yeah, it's like
it's
1 or 2
still
points.
just nothing. Yeah, it's
I-
like where
I won't be
is the
satisfied
boom?
with anything more than 0.
Yeah, I
0%
mean,
for Trump.
the
Yeah.
polls showing how well she's doing with independents and young voters. Yeah, she's crushing all the demographics, but like when it comes to like the national polling, like up against between Trump and Kamala, it's like 1 or 2 points, like because this country is so divided.
Yeah.
And for the record, the right divided it. The fault goes entirely to conservatives here.
Yeah, they say they
Since
blame
Newt
us.
Gingrich, they've been trying their best.
Oh yeah, like even back to like Roger Stone and Roger Ailes, like in the 70s when they were coming
Yeah.
up as like political, like like agitators of some sort.
Scale knows it.
Yeah. And it's so weird, the Democrats are all about
Weird.
civility politics. The moment we finally abandon civility politics, the right wing's like, oh my God, like why are you being so mean to me? And I'm like, hurts, doesn't it? you've been doing this to us for like 50 years now, and now
Yeah.
you can't handle being called weird. We had to develop thick skin being called groomers, PDF files, and so on.
Anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Being
Boomers.
nice
Yeah,
to
which
a
is
bully.
ridiculous.
Being nice
Anti-war.
to a bully.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being nice to a bully does not make you a nice person.
Yeah.
It makes you a coward. If you're lucky enough not to be the target of a bully, good for you. I'm glad you escaped it. But you're not a nice person because you refuse to be mean to bullies.
Yeah.
You have a
Yeah.
decent human being has an obligation to be abrasive to a bully, to stand up to him. And that's all the Republican Party is. They are, in my opinion, a criminal organization. They lie professionally, knowingly, and they've literally, up until 2018, they were not allowed to station people at polls because they engage in terrorism rather casually. They had posted poll watchers with guns with the intention and darn near explicit instructions to intimidate voters.
How are we going to prevent that this election?
Be present.
I'm telling you.
Got to post our own. We have to be present. You convinced me earlier in the show. I'm volunteering. That's what I'm going to be streaming on election day.
You get trained and you get paid for it. When I worked, I did the polls for 2016, and I made $170, and that was in 2016. It's a long day. It's a very long day, and you have to be, eyes open, and you have to understand the processes. But it's worth it.
Yeah, I remember when I volunteered for Bernie's first rally at USC in 2016. I was in charge of seating the folks behind the media. They were like, reserve the first, 7 rows for people who like come in last minute. And these people not listen to me. I'm like, you're not going to see him. You're not going to see him. And then people like, well, we're waiting for some people. Can we reserve these seats? I'm like, no, you cannot. Because these people might not even show up. I was like, God, these people are so rude. I'm like, can I do something else? Like work, like prepare Bernie's team. It was so funny because we were, I was like up top, and then we see, why are you biting me? We saw Bernie, and I was like, I was like, oh my God, guys, it's Bernie. I was like, Bernie. He did that. So I might volunteer for like a rally for Kamala if she comes, because my mom's like, my mom, who's not political, hasn't voted for anyone since Bill Clinton twice when we're still living in New Jersey, is excited about Kamala and Tim. I'm like, she's like, if they come to like any rallies, like in Columbia and Aiken and Augusta, Georgia, she's like, we're going to them all. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm excited because I think
women are excited because we are sick and tired of this patriarchal bullshit.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so invested. I mean, I am obviously a climate and environment commentator, but I am invested in women's rights. I worked too hard my entire life, young person, growing older, for women's rights, pro-choice, everything. I volunteered. I was, oh my God, I don't want to go into this. It's just
I do think definitely she will come to Augusta, Georgia, because Bernie did. My mom was like, what if she just comes to Atlanta? I'm like, I'm like, Augusta's like the 3rd biggest city in Georgia. She's probably definitely going to come to Augusta because Georgia is a very important state, because it's definitely a swing state now. I'm like, she's going to come to Augusta. Okay, it'll be fine. Because the farthest she'll go is Columbia. So I'm like, cool. Because that's when we got to stand behind Bernie at a Columbia rally. This guy in a suit, and I'm like, we're in trouble. He's like, you ladies, could you come here, please? Because we were like the first in line, and we were like, yeah, did we do anything wrong? He's like, how would you like to stand behind Senator Turner and Senator Sanders? And we were like on stage. He's like, yeah. I'm like, Mom, we're doing it. Let's go.
I loved doing that in 2016. I met Nina Turner and Jill Stein, and it was a very exciting experience. We were on the Black Men for Bernie bus, so it was air conditioned because it was 98 degrees in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful experience. It was a life-changing experience.
Yeah, I met Simone Sanders when she was still working for the Bernie, and she wasn't a sellout. But then I remember Nina recognized me. I met her like twice. She came to like an event like in the small little place for like Bernie supporters to go to, and then she went, did the Medicare for Y'all rally, which I'm like, that's a cool little thing. And she was like, you look familiar. I'm like, because my hair was naturally curly, and long. And that's how it was when I first met her. And I'm like, you came to Aiken one time on like the Nurses for Bernie bus or whatever. She's like, oh, I talked to you. And I'm like, yeah, photo. She's great. I love Nina.
Great.
She just stays true to herself.
Yes.
Yeah. We were talking about, before we went on air, Sandy, we were talking about a clip that's going around of Harris at a rally talking down to some protesters, Gaza protesters. Now, I've looked into it just a little bit. Apparently, that clip, some people are saying it was deceptively clipped because that was her final comment to them. But before that, she was more thoughtful.
Where
I
was
can't. I don't have the whole clip, but
Michigan.
I can
and this
play
was
you
this
what's.
go around?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all
like
over.
today.
It's all over. The whole.
have
She's
to-
like, if you want Trump to win,
I
then
could play
leave.
it.
I'm speaking or whatever.
Want me to play it?
Yeah.
The clip, but it just heads up.
Oh, I hope she
Apparently,
doesn't play a Hillary. Please
she
don't.
met
do
with the Uncommitted, the founders of the Uncommitted movement in Michigan prior to this,
that. Okay.
and this clip is her final comments to the protesters. Look.
So you think it's taken out of context, like always happens, or what? I don't
Yeah, I
know.
mean it's Ken Klippenstein, but
Kenny
Yeah,
Clips.
okay, Ken is
For
I
sure.
mean, he just wants people to subscribe to his newsletter. It's not a big deal. But, but the thing to keep in mind here is that, like we said off air beforehand, fucking say, hey, to your people, hey, can you tell them I'll meet with them right after this? I
Yeah.
want to hear. We will just do that.
That
So
would've been
I
That's
don't
what
know.
I would say.
I don't know. Right. Yeah. And I'm just echoing what you were saying before we went on air. That's where I got that from. But,
Yeah.
because I was like, how come Obama didn't go to Standing Rock? How come Hillary didn't go to Standing Rock? What are you scared of?
Yeah, that was
Fucking go down there. That would have been like, oh my God.
friends of mine.
Huge. Right. But instead they're like, no. So, okay. Anyway, I don't know if you caught this, Jake, but apparently there were more reasonable comments or polite comments. I don't know how to say it. Before,
Oh yeah, I think she conducted herself fine given the situation.
but yeah, here, check this out. Oh wait, yeah, okay. Let me get the volume.
He intends to surrender our fight against the climate crisis, and he
Hear them
intends to
chanting.
end the Affordable Care Act. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking.
I don't even get that.
Yeah. Like we know, I mean, like ultra leftists who are like, I'm a leftist, but also like, I want Trump to win, like that, like it's what Bam and Dan say, Trump's gonna, free Palestine. Like, he ain't gonna do that. Like, I don't know why she would think that like Gaza protesters would, these people, the uncommitted, were trying to, they're saying we're not voting for Biden and we're not voting for Trump, and we really would like a third option. Like, that was the whole point. Like,
what I don't like there is the people in the background going, "Yeah, get out."
I hate
it's like,
that.
just fuck off, man.
I would be like, I would be standing behind them, like, with the sign, like, what? And then because the
Let me
camera
give
would be
you
on me.
some regional context. She was 15 minutes from a town wherein 54% of the population is Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
And a big chunk of folks in this town have family that died because of her boss pretending like he was a humanitarian while giving weapons to the people that killed their family.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand the passion. What we are dealing with here, and what I think Kamala Harris, if you're listening, which clearly you listen to us, because
Yes, of course she does.
what I would pitch
tweeted
to
to her.
Kamala Harris is understand that. Understand that it's not an irrational feeling that they're having.
Yeah.
And also understand that they know next to nothing about subtlety in politics, about signaling, and I'm glad you picked Walz. Those of us that know what you're doing will spread the message as best we can. But you should have a response prepared for these folks. As this guy suggested.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I'll talk to you in a moment, and I want to talk to you. I need to give this speech. I think you're going to want to hear what I have to say, but go wait over there, and I will speak to you face to face. That's a great response.
Or let them chant. Everyone here is, no one in here is alone. We are all together.
Free
This is
Gaza,
our
free
fucking
Gaza.
job. This is
I don't
our
think so.
team.
Yeah. Also, too,
Sure,
again,
but
she
look,
needs to win Michigan. I feel like Michigan is more important than Pennsylvania. I will
But-
die on that hill.
So we can
Both must
debate
be won.
about what she should have said or whatever, but
Yeah,
just
have a
to,
response ready.
to
'cause you're
respond
gonna
to
be
Channel Warhorse in the chat, they were saying Obama was invested in oil. Okay, look, I get why
He didn't go to Stanford.
politicians fucking suck, but optics is also a very political thing to do.
Yeah.
They didn't even put forth the effort. There was nothing. They didn't do anything that would have been like, okay, they're on the side of the people here. They aren't.
Nope.
So if you're gonna, just sit up there and look like an elitist, now they can call you an elitist, even if you aren't. So your best move is to have something ready to be like, hey, it's cool.
Okay.
These
We'll work it
same
out.
tactics that the
Hope-
extreme
I hope
that
not.
the white supremacists used with Trump, we need to take note of, because decency is as terrifying to the American leadership as out white supremacy was, which means when we have a politician who signals to us, hey, I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to do what you want. I see what you want. I'm going to do it. We need to be able to read that signal and take it for what it is and
Yeah.
not F things up.
I am scared there won't be any change on Israel.
That's
honestly.
yeah. I mean,
That's
because
I'm constantly worried about it.
yeah, because like her when she her team released a statement, still being part of this. So, but then she actually spoke herself, and she's like, "Oh my god, what's happening in Gaza is terrible. There are people getting killed." I'm like, who is your newsletter writer? Like, it's weird. But also too, we gotta give a shout out to Mama Bear, Nancy Pelosi, because I don't know what happened to her, but she was like,
right?
Biden dropped
She-
out because of her. Tim Walz happened partly also because of her, and then
Because
she
she's a
ripped
strategic
Netanyahu for a speech at Congress. I was like,
She literally had a new book out yesterday.
yeah. I'm like, maybe that's why she did all this.
I mean,
Called I should have been a better person for the last 60 years.
yeah. There you go.
Fucking funny. I'm
The
sorry.
art of power. I'm like, that's a good
You're
time
very
considering the last few weeks.
I should have been
I
a better
guess, God
person
damn.
for the last 60 years.
I was like, what a fitting title, considering what's been going on. And she's so skitty. Like, she's all with like Joe Scarborough, who looks so miserable because he wants Shapiro, and she's like, well, I didn't really play a part, but I'm excited for Tim Walz. And I'm like,
Oh, you
I-
were
okay.
Nancy. This is a very talented crowd.
I often say you have to be worried when the establishment, like Democrats and the liberal media, are celebrating the same things as Republican mega donors, like
Yeah.
beating progressives at the primaries, right? But we can celebrate when they're both melting down as well. And so I'm seeing Joe Scarborough melt down at the same time as, Trump and JD Vance and all the Republicans. And it's like, when is everyone gonna, connect those dots?
yeah, he really wanted Josh Shapiro so bad because he's like, it's all about anti-Semitism because he's Jewish. I'm like, no. I
Who
said this
said
to so
that?
many people.
Joe Scarborough
like-
said that.
Joe Scarborough, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
like,
a lot of
I'm
his
so sick of that.
policies,
To be fair,
like
a lot of them
he's
said a lot. Of
anti-teacher union, like all the stuff that I mentioned about the
Right.
Palestine stuff, and then again the fact he covered up a murder, and he
got
has a Me
just-
Too
I
problem.
don't know.
Just
Yeah.
saying, anyone who is against the obvious, transparent bloodshed and genocide is anti-Semitic is either the most bad faith thing you can come up with,
That's
or just
actual
absolute
anti-Semitism.
Well, but for some people,
batshit
it's
crazy.
feeling very much like they're being attacked or they're defensive, even if they are against the war. I mean, I've been listening to what people have been talking about. So, I mean, it is also it's such a sensitive issue. Some people
who are you talking in favor of right now, though? What do you mean? Are you
I
saying like
mean-
why
I
the
mean
media
that
is
when-
calling us anti-Semitic, or the
Right,
people
like
who?
there are people saying, some people say well, maybe there's an anti-Semitic component. And of course, I say absolutely not. Those people are going on some kind of either gut reaction, family history,
But they report the news. Like, they have to be.
Well, these are just commentators. I'm talking
more
not
objective than that. But I mean, you know,
Right.
they're on the fucking news every morning. They get all these ratings, and they're just like,
And
I
they're
think it's
wrong.
anti-Semitic.
Yeah, they're wrong. They really
Yeah.
No,
are.
but I mean,
And
they're
I-
irresponsible. That's
They
a
are.
horrible thing to paint like broad
And somebody
swaths of people.
said that a big bulk of the protesters on the campuses are Jewish kids. I mean,
Yeah, dude,
like,
Jewish
accurate.
Voices for
It's
Peace
just-
is a huge thing. Like, there's a lot of anti-Zionist Jewish organizations. Which, I mean, Ben Shapiro has been losing his mind since Tim Walz got picked. I mean, oh my god, I'm like, I gotta have to block him because he keeps getting put in my algorithm because Elon.
Oh,
Um,
Twitter sucks.
Yeah, but I'm doing well,
Not
so
part of Twitter with Elliot Jacobson and the scientists.
yeah,
There is no better. Thank you, Zero PE.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw you say that actually in
Good
another
point.
stream, and you're not wrong. That her husband getting attacked radicalized her. I can't tell you whether that's true or not, but it's an interesting
I mean,
observation.
Don Jr. had a costume. He posted a photo of like underwear and a hammer. He's like getting ready for my Halloween costume, and I'm like, you fucking prick, man. Like,
It's horrible.
this
And
is
what
why
do we know
we're
with
finally
all
abandoning
right-wingers?
civility politics. You mean to tell we have to be nice to people like that? Not on my watch.
Perfect storm for Nancy Pelosi. She is a conservative, and her we know of conservatives, they don't give a damn until it affects them. Suddenly, this stuff started affecting her. Plus, she's leaving. She's not going to be making money off this grift anymore, so she can say whatever she wants. And she's like,
Did
"Oh,
she
okay,
come
okay,
out-
yeah, let's do this."
Did Pelosi actually come out against Bibi's speech?
Yes, she said it was
Oh,
like one of the offensive things she's ever seen in Congress in her life. Like, it was bad. I was like, oh my
She
god.
was early on in her life very progressive. She was. And then-
See, this
Once
is the
upon a
thing,
time,
though.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes we take it upon ourselves. Let's just say we're commentators. We take it upon ourselves to
Mhm.
play political along with the politicians and say,
Right.
okay, I'm agreeing with Joe Manchin for now. Let's have a union. No, fuck him. Go
Yeah.
away. I don't care if you're right every now and then. Leave. I'm not a politician. I don't have to play politics. Nancy Pelosi, shut up. Fuck off. Leave. You've done so much
Not now.
damage. You've made millions and millions of dollars off of us and everyone else for yourself. Go the fuck away. I don't want to play politics. I don't want to be a guy who goes, yeah, we'll use you for now. I don't want to do that. I want everything to be pure.
We're in.
It's
the
not
fight.
realistic, but that's what I want.
No, but
Yeah, I was
it's-
gonna say the
it's
fight
lovely
ain't pretty.
sentiment, Mac, is you're just that kind of lovely person. Unfortunately, well, okay, if I had
You should go away.
opium, I wish people were like you.
If we have to rely on Nancy Pelosi to get shit done, we're in big trouble.
Yeah, I can't. That's the thing. I'm like, what happened to her? Like, it's so like when we heard like rufflings of
Gonna
like her
retire.
really trying to push Biden out, I was like, what?
Hold
Yeah.
on. Jake is trying to process what I'm saying.
No, I'm just glitching out. It'll take another 45 seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No,
But,
I want to. I thought Jake was going
No,
to
I
come
just-
back at me.
You
Like,
know, I just don't. And 45 seconds reach. Anybody who's fighting on our side right now, getting the things we want done, especially if she's saying the things we want, pulling levers, making this stuff happen, and she's gonna go, which means we are gonna replace her. This is perfect, Nancy. Keep it up. I'm
I'll
not
say-
gonna forget who you
one
are.
last dog in her.
it's not. It's not quite. It's not quite what I would call too little, too late, because it is apparently extremely helpful. But it is a sign that we don't have significant change, and I just feel like
Mm.
the baby steps are tedious.
Yeah.
I
Well,
would
the big
oppose almost
step-
everything Hitler did in his life except the last thing he did. I'm
Yeah.
all for the
That's
last
totally
thing
different,
Hitler did in
dude.
his
That's
life.
totally
Cyanide.
different. Totally different.
Oh.
Beautiful.
I don't. I just wish that people would come to their senses when I mean, yeah, okay, it matters now, but I wish that, just think if she's that powerful, my God, all
Yeah.
this time, what she could have
Yeah.
done to make the world a better place and just didn't.
Sure.
Yeah,
But being mad about that, this is Lex Luthor
I'm just saying,
teaming up with us against Darkseid. Being mad
I'm not
about
playing
that shouldn't make
politics.
us
I'm just
fine.
not going to be the guy that goes like, "Hey, I'll use them for now." I'm not. That's not my job. That's not my job.
it's like
No,
this is
you're
why
not
this is
the phenomenal comics that
I just don't
teach
want to.
people progressive values and
I don't want to
that-
cut anybody any breaks. Fuck them.
If we, I am a big. I don't think we should be. We should roll over like the Democrats used to, or just constantly. I don't think we should use that old playbook. But at the same time, if you don't accept surrender, you won't be offered surrender, and people will fight to the bitter end. If somebody's
Oh yeah.
in Kamala Harris's position, for example, this is exactly what I'm talking about. She's in Kamala Harris's position. She's like, I'm going to appoint Tim Walz. This government's going to turn over a new leaf. Then she shows up right outside my town. And after that, gets protesters at her thing. Now she's going to be like, well, I thought I wrapped this up. I thought playing to this crowd was going to help me. And now it's not. Well, then I've
colleges
wasted
are
my
about to
time.
open.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's the same thing. We got to be able. I'm not saying we become blind to who they were and what they will be again given the opportunity. But I'm not saying. I mean, we should spend zero effort going after people who are now helping us because we have a ocean of people who are openly.
and we
They work for us. They work for
Fascism
us.
never
And they did it
sleeps.
wrong.
I don't
And
understand why the Democrats
And that's
didn't understand this in the
probably
first place.
about that. She's probably
Yeah,
she
because they
probably-
were corrupt.
She's probably at the
You got
point
that
where
right.
if we don't get rid of Trumpism and MAGA, there won't be the ability to protest anything.
Oh
Yeah, this is like
Yeah.
the far right's last grasp onto like power. And
Yes.
if Kamala does end up winning, and Democrats actually are starting to actually fight, no longer be civil, play dirty for once, like with those weird, creepy pedophile looking ads, that are actually crushing it.
Yes.
Then we might be able to finally do like a complete switch. Maybe Democrats will finally like readapt Howard Dean's, 60 state, like 50 state, a plan that actually worked in 2006 and 2008, and then, we could finally abolish, I mean, the Tea Party's still around, but like, maybe we could finally try to get rid of, some of those, Tea Partiers that have still been around since 2010.
Yeah.
But it's like as if, the right wing's also kind of sort of maybe giving up because again, we're calling them weird and they cannot handle that for some reason.
Yes. I warn everybody of this danger. The old guard of the Republican Party have been the people who were so bad in the 80s that a court told them you have to agree to not post people at elections anymore because you're a bunch of terrorists.
Yeah.
That's how bad they were, and that is around the time they were informed, hey, this is the last generation where you can get away with being this the way you are. They have been cheating since then, every way they can. They actually have stolen elections. I give you North Carolina, I believe. They have been trying to toss out ballots. They just tried a coup in the last presidential election. This time, they know there's not another opportunity. It either Project 2025 is out, there's their plans. It is either they take over and do away with democracy or they do not survive anymore in a democracy. So they're going to be wild and we got to be ready.
You're totally right. And
like no time to be ready. We have to do it today.
Be prepared to take that fascism though.
It's all local,
I just want to clarify my point, not to argue. I just want to clarify my point a little bit. Look at how like you have these politicians that you voted for, they got elected, they're progressive, you love them, they do one thing you hate, and you're like, fuck them. This is what people do, right? And maybe it's just online, but people do it.
It's
and then
annoying.
you get these politicians who are so obviously the establishment and fucking everything up and just banking off it, and they do some things right, and you're like, thank you. That to me is just too much like,
And then
no,
then
treat
it's
them all the same down the line. Yes, that is the right thing to do. I'm still going to hold you accountable for all the fucked up things you do. No, that is the wrong thing you do, but that's okay because you do a lot of good things. We just need to course correct. I think that we need to be working with these people like they are our employees, and there are
Yeah.
a lot of bosses and managers out here, right?
I
And
agree with
hold
the
them
general
accountable
philosophy.
at
Yeah.
the polls, right? But this whole like treating it like a reality TV show to me is where I draw the line. That feels too much like playing politics, and I am not that guy, and I don't want us to be those guys. But anyway, I just wanted to clarify a
and the
little bit.
and the conservatives are the reason why it's like that. Like they make politics like wrestling and like like
You're right about that.
everything-
It's pretty
like
bad.
like probably like the last.
I think social media did it too. But
Yeah, it's also
Fair.
social media definitely. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. They work for us, and it's about time we stood up our. But to change the subject, did you guys hear about RFK and the Bear
Oh,
Cub?
Oh my
Good
god. Yeah, that
grief,
bummed
this
me
guy.
out, man.
That was a story like about
What's
10 years
next?
ago or something like that. And someone tweeted out like, "What? Who puts a dead bear cub in Central Park?" And they retweeted like, "Oh, now I know."
Me
All
and
right.
my friend were talking about that tonight. He said, at one time RFK might have been a brilliant environmental lawyer for 5 minutes, but this one is just this
Yeah,
was
it's so
you
so a
just
lot
do
of
this
people
to a
are
dick,
like,
run over a bear cub like this. We're we love animals.
yeah, and he had it, and he got something to eat, but then he
And there's a
he-
picture of it. It was sick.
Yeah, and
I don't know, man. I'll play the odd one out on this. I'm not for RFK in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a brief story
boy.
that I will not identify the person in, but I assure you it is not me. It's just somebody I know. There's a guy that
okay.
found
A friend of yours.
a cat, a gentleman who found a dead cat, and it was very sad, and he felt bad. He just, walking down the street, saw roadkill. It was a kitty. He felt horrible. And he, very much like me, is a weirdo and thought the proper thing to do here is to give this cat, who I did not know but do respect, a Viking funeral.
Mhm.
And so he got a bunch of gasoline. He's a hillbilly. Got a bunch of gasoline, doused the, I can't stress enough, long dead cat in gasoline, and burned it. But there was way too much fire. And he was like, oh, the cops will see. Everybody's going to see this. I got to run right now. And so he ran. And the next day in the paper, there was a story that said heinous animal cruelty spotted, because as far as they knew, somebody just burned a cat to death.
But
People do weird is all I'm saying. And I see how RFK saw already existing roadkill and was like, I could eat meat. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying
I do think
worms.
it disqualifies you as a
can't be a
presidential
president.
I sent you
I don't care who you
the Discord chat to put up. It's funny.
He's just too open about like all the weird stuff. And also, too, a lot of people are like make up their own false stories. Like he's like, I saw a bunch of Muslim dudes, and I recommended them to go to flight school in Florida, and I'm like,
Jesus Christ.
I'm like, are you saying? I'm like, you're making up a fake story that RFK Jr. is responsible for 9/11. Oh, there's so many fun little stories, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, because it would sound like something he would actually say though, if we're being honest.
Oh yeah, and I do want to be clear. That's behavior that's weird enough that you can't be president. I'm sorry.
Was this
I
before or
can't
after
be
he got the
president.
brain
RFK can't be president. Oh God, it's probably right around
What's
the
up, the fun-
brainworm time.
I sent him a
I got
file.
it from the bear.
Oh shit!
It's still in his brain though. It like died, and I'm like, oh Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, here it is.
Yes.
Put the bear in
I-
the park, Robert.
I think the
Creepy.
Kennedy family, when they have like a family event, they're like, oh, do we have to invite Bobby Jr. though? Like, I feel like that's
Yes.
how they feel.
Yes,
Oh.
that's it exactly. They're like,
Um,
oh God.
Guys, it's time. We got to do this.
Uh,
You're probably still saying Kamala Harris's name wrong. It's Kamala. We got to do this. I say it 5, 6. Jake, somebody was saying in the comments to a recent show, Jake should just say Harris.
It's Kamala.
It's
Am I not
we
saying
all.
that right?
It's
Kamala.
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 Not like Trump
No,
says
see
it.
how they have it in the picture.
What's with the
COM?
Kamala thing?
Kamala.
Like I don't.
Oh,
Who,
all right.
who
Kamala.
I like a lot of people like
I do
like,
too.
this dude who was like trying to come up with like memes about
Kamala.
her, like anti, Kamala memes. And I'm just over here like a lot of people are like, I don't get it. I don't, Kamala. I'm like, what are you?
Donald Trump just says it wrong to needle everybody. He says,
It's-
"Come on."
I've just been watching people bring it up in the chat tonight because I'm
It was
watching all of
because
our
I said-
chats.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a legitimate concern,
want
but at
to
the
say
same
like,
time,
be respectful.
You're just
Yeah, I
we're,
mean,
I say it
all it's asked
phonetically,
for is an effort. Yeah.
but yeah. Well, okay. So I was just saying, let's
Kamala.
look at how to actually say it, not correct how we say it. You say it however you want.
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
just
Let-
looking
let
at
me-
how it's said.
Let me throw
Michiganders
the-
mispronounce everything.
yeah,
So
yeah. And sometimes intentionally, but not this way. Here's why
thought
we
I
should
did.
take the time to get it right. Because somewhere out there is a little girl named Kamala, and
Yeah.
she's been waiting for there to be a famous
Oh,
Kamala. I hope I'm still saying it right. And now it's here.
Kamala.
So now we take the time to learn. And yeah, it's annoying when people get it wrong intentionally. But we're not doing that. We're just regular dummies.
So I've been
have the
getting-
patience.
So I've been
And
getting a
keep
lot
going.
of like political like shirts and stuff on Etsy because there's a lot of good, creative stuff. I got like a vampire like thing that says abort the patriarchy, and I got a shirt that says introverted but willing to discuss anti-capitalism. There are so many Kamala, shirts that are available now, and I'm like, oh, that could actually be a good like bumper sticker or something. Like she should run with that.
Yeah, until some idiot MAGA cultist wrecks your friggin' bumper.
but
Yeah, the
Well,
anti-corporatist. She was
No,
that
let the
little girl.
research went on.
I do think it was
Let 'em
funny
find
in the comment. I may have replied to it this way, where they were like, "Jake should just say Harris. That's not how you say her first name." And I'm like, "Surely I'm not saying her first name correctly either."
None of us
okay,
are.
you
It's
should be
not-
calling everybody out for this, not just my old pal
Also-
Jake.
Vice President Harris.
Like a lot of people are saying that it's sexist to call her by her first name because again, we don't refer to male politicians by their first names. I'm like, did we
You do
say
all the time.
feel the Sanders or feel the burn as in burn?
Yeah,
right.
And
big
let
deal.
and
We're
the
feeling
left in
calm
particular does that.
now. The
Yeah,
we're
calm
very
before
personable.
The storm. We're in the calm before the storm.
I like
Yeah,
that.
like it's I'm like, as someone who her whole thing is to make sure people call me by my first name because I made it my whole life to make sure people pronounce it right, even though we're still not doing it. Like I'd rather have her go by her first name. If it's something that she's proud of her Indian heritage and her Jamaican heritage, which makes her a biracial Indian, Jamaican of descent, it makes her a black woman technically. And so yeah, like if she wants us to call her by her first name, I'm gonna do it. We kept saying Bernie, like
Yeah.
like just some people just sound better with their last names. Like if you're a Bush, like George W. Bush or the Bush family, except for Jeb, but like baby
Well,
Bush,
it's just-
daddy
it's-
Bush, like
In 90 days, I'll call her Madam President
yeah.
for
W.
sure. But
W.
up till then, let me try to get the name right.
Oh, speaking of bushes, this is hilarious. We have this fake bush out front, and we have like a
Oh.
real one. And I watched a bee going back and forth between them.
Think this
No.
one's real?
Zit.
Yeah, and do you know what they actually call bees that do that?
What?
No,
Uh-oh.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But anyway,
Dad joke of the night.
Dad joke.
wonderful. So yeah, I think it's Jake, come on, man. There he goes.
What? You
On
hate
that
the
note.
dad joke?
No, Jake finds a strategic moment to Jake's it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So
Yeah. Wow. it's
instead of
11:50.
laughing along,
Holy
having a
shit.
good time,
Yeah.
I
it's
do think getting pronunciation right is key. And I also think I think Jake meant to come back. But can't Anyways,
There
so
he is.
a good one. So
We-
I think that
Matt.
if everybody, hey, how's it going? I
Oh,
think if
yeah.
everyone, it's like the Brady Bunch.
Oh yeah.
I think if everyone out there is going to be saying this name, might as well get it right. You know,
Yeah.
I just
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I
yeah.
was. That's the problem. I thought I was nailing it for like the last week, but no.
Yeah,
So
but
now
I
know.
knew I was saying it wrong, but I
It's,
didn't know
it's
what
just so weird that people are coming up with weird names to like call her that just don't make sense at all. Like Kama blah. I'm like, what? I'm like, if you're gonna say that she talks a lot, blah blah blah, it ends with an H.
Of course,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
the Trump shit. You know, he started the
Yeah.
rudeness and everything at that. What was it? The first debate we saw it, and then he started coming up with all the little demeaning names, little Marco and all that.
Yeah.
I
They
mean,
all bootleg 'em.
Pocahontas, he is the worst.
Laughing, comma, and he couldn't even spell laughing right. He's like Laffin or whatever. I'm like, that's not how you spell laughing. It's Laughi. Like, seriously, like,
Can't we just all say it? We just cannot wait for the Trump era to end. We just can't wait.
Yes.
I thought
it's
it
the
did.
worst era in politics.
I know.
Can I just say, even if you take this guy at his word, and even if he genuinely is like, even if it truly is an accident that he cannot say this name, okay, you really want our chief diplomat to be this jackass? Guy can't say a name right. What's going to happen when he comes across a foreign leader who is sensitive and important, and he can't say the name right?
and they might actually go to war because of it. You never know. Some of the
Yes.
foreign leaders, lost in translation
And he's saying
situation.
that she's
Yeah.
not going to be able to communicate with foreign leaders. What a he's
I
such
mean,
a
we've been
chauvinist
through
pig.
it already. He's just such an incompetent ass.
Yeah.
It's just
That's why my mom's
How
like, I
could
can't believe
anybody
people
want
still want to vote for him. I'm like, Mom,
Yeah,
I'm
that's an
like, voters are like half of the country are idiots. They're pure idiots.
it's really
Like,
disappointing.
when Walter Masterson does do you support Project 25? They're like, hell yeah, I do. And he telling them everything. They're like, yeah, that's exactly what I would like. And and he's like, you as a woman would like to have your rights taken away. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, my God. It's also like with Jordan, Jordan Klepper interviewing Trump supporters. He's like, but he's smart. Of course, he makes fun of them, and the insult just goes over their heads. It's great.
Yes. And it's maddening. And I changed my whole format today because we need to have this conversation. We cannot have 70 million people in this country walking around with their heads up their asses. It's time to yank them out. There should be zero viewers
when it happens. Oh God!
Mm-hmm.
Like, there should be zero people viewing Fox News. There should be zero people watching Tim Pool, Alex Jones, Steven Crowder. We know all these people lie, and we know they know they're telling lies. There's no excuse for it. So
some more news did a full video on Tim Pool, and it's funny. Part of the reason why Tim Pool became like a right-wing grifter is that a bunch of anarchists kind of mocked him at a protest, and he was like, "That's it." And I'm like,
how that guy became as big as he is.
Oh my God! And his father and sister hate him. His sister posted a photo of him when he was a kid with hair, and I'm like, what happened?
I've been trying to get them on the show for so long. It's not gonna happen.
They would be actually.
His dad has his own YouTube channel.
Wasn't Lance a guest recently?
Oh, this is a while back, and then also Emma too.
There's a clip, yeah.
Even Lance was like, "That's just you're weird. Like, why are you obsessed with Jazz Jennings' genitals? Like, why?"
Because I think what you just said is weird.
Yeah, like, why are you obsessed with whether or not she can have an orgasm or something? Like, what's wrong with you? Even I was like, that is a good question. Why are you guys so obsessed with that?
Like, why? Like, really, why?
They can't. They don't have self-awareness.
Yeah.
They don't look at how. I've been watching these podcast interviews they're doing. There was one with Don Jr. and Vance. There's one with Vance and some other guys, and they're all man spreading. Who sits down like that without any? You have no self-awareness. Okay, I used to work with a guy, and I finally had to pull him aside and be like, I said, hey, man, you need to. I was like, there's one thing that we all need to do, and it's be aware of our at rest face. How you look when you're listening shouldn't look like you just ate dog shit. It should look like you're thoughtfully listening, not like, it's like it looks like you're a cartoon and you just got smacked with an anvil and your face is stuck that way.
Yeah.
Do like Jake is doing right now, where it's like, I'm thoughtfully listening. You
Yeah.
should be aware of your at
I
rest
thought-
face, whether standing in line at the grocery store, the post office, whatever you're doing. If you should be approachable. Is what I'm saying. Like,
And these people are
don't
not
look
approachable.
scary. But those guys look like they don't have awareness. Like
No.
they thought about it for a few minutes and then just ran with it. And they
Don't you
have
feel
all the confidence
bad?
in the world.
Yeah,
feel
like
like
again,
terrible.
it was fun watching Cody's some more news breakdown about the history of Tim Pool, and it's just so funny. Like,
Oh, I that was candy. It was wonderful.
yeah, it was great.
I'm just trying to back you up. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, like the way
But,
I mean,
let's
the
talk
guys,
about it. It was great.
does
Yeah,
that
he
guy wear that hat
Yes.
in the swimming pool?
Just
He's
about.
wearing- I mean,
I
it's
mean, he apparently. I watched the same thing. I loved it. Apparently, Tim Pool went around when he was an actual journalist. Like he was like me once upon a time. All right, let me try it again. Once upon a time, he and I had basically the same job, which is go places and report on things with technology. And mine was teeny tiny. I was like local news. Hey, dog fashion
did
show
nice.
type thing. But yeah, but he was like at major events, and all of his reports were like him in the hotel room. Like, yeah, so this other reporter that's here just had something wild happen to him, but
Yeah.
never him actually in the because he didn't care. He didn't care
Yeah,
about
he
any of it.
any deep dives.
No, God no. And then his first breakout thing as like a conservative was his first attempt at the conservative grift was he had heard that there was more foreigners doing crime in what was it, Scotland, England, Ireland? I forget.
Yeah, Scotland, I think.
Oh, Sweden,
yeah.
maybe Europe somewhere. And so he went to right wingers. He's like, well, I want to find out if this is true. So give me $5,000 or whatever he needed to go there. Pay for my vacation to this country. And they did. And he went there and he basically did his first ever live lie for them.
Yeah.
He just found extremists to say like, yeah, I heard rumors too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think I love that story. I think that I always say this. I know I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm constantly shocked. And it's just another case of every time there's a cult and they show you the cult leader, you're like, that guy?
That guy who has
They
to
thought
wear,
he was the ultimate god that we should be.
Yeah,
So
he's-
I'm always shocked. Like, no fucking way it was that guy. No
Like,
way.
if
He
I
had
were to
12
ever
wives.
debate Tim Pool, my first if he starts getting, I'll be like, dude, you are 40, because he's like 40 now. I'm like, you are 40 something
my
years old
God.
wearing a beanie. A beanie.
Yeah.
You know, there's Bosley hair repair, right? Like you or hair plugs. Look at you. I'm
And
like,
he's
look at
got
Elon
enough
Musk.
money to do it.
I just can't believe people still like
Hey,
him.
I do
and
wear hair things though. I wear headbands.
Yeah.
I
was
can't
gonna say,
believe
I-
people
wear
like
wigs.
him. I just can't believe it.
it's all good. It's just like don't. Yeah, let me just jump to what Letterhack is saying. Yeah, why do I keep calling you Letterhack these days? I think because I'm trying. I think I'm subconsciously trying to ride coattails now.
My online moniker.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's fair, but nobody should be watching any of these people. Like, if
No.
you are watching Alex Jones now, after it has been made abundantly clear that he is a liar that abuses the
Mhm.
families of,
fine.
like mourning parents.
250,000.
There's a problem with
people
you,
watch it.
person
Yes.
watching, and we have to have a conversation with you, person watching. It has to be done. If you're watching Fox now, after they lied about the 2020 election so badly that they lost the better part of $1 billion over it, there's a problem with you, the viewer, who's watching that, and we have to address it. We have to say have conversations where we're saying
Yeah.
like, hey, it's a problem that you are supporting this. It's a problem that you're listening to them. It's a problem that you don't acknowledge that they're lying to you. Let's make that happen.
Or like with Steven Crowder, like we have evidence of him being a
Yes.
very abusive husband, and the fact that he'd rather get gender affirming care than make his pecs look better. and yet he had like a mishap with the surgery. He had to get it again, which made
What
him
did he
miss
have?
the birth
Well,
of his twins.
It was elective.
Oh man,
He
I'm
could have gotten that. He could have gotten his new pec a month later.
They were saying that about Elon Musk. I saw a tweet that had like 84,000 likes or something, where it was like, somebody should tell Elon Musk that his jaw surgery and hairline implants are all considered gender affirming.
Yeah,
healthcare.
Yeah,
Somehow
but
made
it's
him look
different
more
for
like a frog.
cisgender folks. It's not. I'm like, yes, it is the same thing. If you want to get a boob job, if you want to get a, if you're a woman with a bigger nose, you want like a nose like mine. You want to get a
Yeah,
smaller
I
nose. But like it's the same thing. Like you're changing your body to make yourself look like a certain way that your gender is supposed to look according to society.
like they do at Mar-a-Lago.
Mhm.
I think they
Oh
all
my
got
God! Look! Did you see Claudia Conway just rip that Laura Loomer? Oh my God, it was so beautiful. She's
Laura
like, you
Loomer.
have She's like, you have filler
That's a
moving
horrible
around your face. I'm like,
Yeah, wow.
Laura Loomer is
just-
a horrible person.
I
mean,
can't believe these
she's a horrible
people.
person.
I
have
can't.
followers. Get money from them.
So I'm as shocked that people allow this as I am that people get this degree of surgery that they get. Like I keep seeing, I was talking to Jake about this offline a few weeks ago. I keep seeing celebrities who are like much older now, right? In their glory days or their golden years. And it's like, I don't know what they think they're doing, but there's no reason why they don't look young. They look
No,
like
they
they've
look
had
young.
way too much plastic surgery.
And how you know this? Their neck.
Dysmorphic disorder.
Their necks are aging, but their face looks smooth. And I'm like, that's how you know someone got plastic surgery, because they don't do anything to the neck.
Faye Dunaway looks like she took somebody else's face and just slapped it on her own Hannibal Lecter style. It's
So-
horrible.
I like Raquel Welch because you can get plastic surgery, but can't overdo it. She always looked really good for her age. And also too, like,
It's
look at
totally
Cher.
fine if you want to do that.
Helen
but like,
Hunt.
Look
Yeah,
at
there's
Cher.
an
Cher's
example of
got
an
surgery. She's very open about it, but she still looks like Cher. You know who doesn't look like Madonna anymore? Madonna.
Hellen
yeah,
Hunt.
I think there's
Where
a lot
that
of that.
actress, Helen Hunt. I just saw a picture of her. She
Oh,
hasn't had anything done. I don't think much. I don't,
Also,
no, but people
Jason-
think she does.
Yeah,
That's
Jason
what's funny
Bateman's
about
sister,
that.
Justine. A lot of people are
you
like,
look
"God,
at her.
she's so old." I'm like, she looks like a 50-something-year-old woman. She
Who?
does get plastic surgery done.
I vow to you all right now.
Yeah.
I will
Both
happily lose my hair. I will gracefully let all of this go. I
Yeah.
don't give a shit. I'm not faking anything. Do I look tan to you? It's a complete mistake. I just live in the South. I'm not out here trying to look younger. I'm really not. I drink a lot of water every day.
Oh, I am. I'm sorry.
That kind of helps, but
Yeah.
Well, it also reminds me
Whatever.
of singer and actress Ariana Grande. She's Italian. She was a pasty white redhead girl, but for some reason she
Oh.
wanted to because I knew her from Broadway when she started 13. I would write letters to the cast, including her.
Letterhead.
Wild.
Yeah,
Let her hack.
yeah. And but
Nice.
like by the time she got successful, she completely overdid the self-tan to the point where she looked like a woman of color and her hair and all that. But now that she did Wicked, her hair is blonde and most of that self-tan is scrubbed up because Glinda has to work a certain way. And I'm like, and I'm looking at the Wicked trailers. I'm like, they still did not get rid of all her fake tanner because she still has like an olive complexion. Like,
All right, I have some sympathy for her here though. Imagine that did you have like a style phase when you were growing up, like a distinct like, oh, that's when
Oh
I
my
was really
God.
into.
I was a poser, so I was like wearing golf one
grunge.
day, wearing preppy one day. It was really bad. I have been in
I
an
was-
identity crisis still.
I was, as you see, my whole fucking life. Pretty boring, but I'm unchanged.
Same,
Well,
but
I'm
imagine.
really shirt on, but
There you go.
yeah,
Imagine
but
you got
it could be a
famous
lot of things.
during a particularly eccentric style phase, and now your fame is tied to that, and your recognition is tied to that. I'm somewhat
Oh.
sympathetic to Ariana Grande here. If you asked me to risk making millions every year by no longer wearing whatever thing I wear to be recognized, no way. I'm doing the bronzer for the next 50 years.
Do
Sorry,
you think
gang.
that's what? Do you think that's Trump's excuse? Do you think
Well,
that's
No, I
this-
just think he's a jackass.
This is the thing about Trump. He wears a foundation called like Maybelline's Dream Map Mousse Foundation. It was a foundation Lavas wore in like the mid 2000s.
okay?
And it's cakey, you rub it, and
Maybe it's Maybelline.
yeah,
That-
his shade is
Wow.
honey beige, which is like the go-to shade
Okay.
for all white people, and it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look good at all because it's basically
agreed.
an orange tan,
It's
Yeah.
awful.
That's what he's
How do
doing.
people
So
take him
and plus
seriously?
bronzer to make it even more. But then when you see his hairline, he doesn't really blend it into like his hairpiece because we
Yeah,
all
it's
know that
so
man's
bad.
bald. But like he's not blending it to the hairline and stuff
Funny.
like that, and they just. It's like if I remove my wig, there's a line like I'm covering up my widow's peak. It's like, if I remove my wig and wig cap, there's a little bit of line of like no makeup.
does everybody know this? Does
No.
everyone
Everybody
is
knows
everyone like
About
this? He's
Donald
using this
Trump?
foundation, the bronzer.
Yeah,
Well,
people
they
assume
should
he's using
too.
foundation and bronzer, but they don't know like the specific brand of foundation. I'm like, I figured it out.
Well, this is all pretty funny, but it is
I love
actually
that.
just so, our issues are so serious, and this guy distracts
Yeah.
people by doing
Well,
this. by
I'm
looking
saying,
Yeah.
in line with me being shocked but not surprised, total hypocrite. What does he think when he says we're gonna stop all the trans and you know what I mean? It's like,
He
dude, you're
also,
putting on makeup every day.
he also said
Think about
at-
it for a second.
He also said at one of his rallies the other night or whatever, I think is where there was like there was a lot of seats empty. It was funny. But he was like, we will not allow, boys going into girls' bathrooms. And I'm like, my dude, you would walk into the Miss America pageant when the girls were undressed. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what a creep, dude.
Yeah,
Walk
exactly.
too.
Ugh.
No, I'm just sitting here thinking about how many takes I've read online going on in my head, like every now and then, that were just Cosmopolitics tweets. I swear to God, that I don't go on Twitter that much. Every now and then I'll go on.
Right.
Like today, I was doing a lot on there, but I'll go on there every now and then, and it's just like banger after banger. I swear to God.
Yeah, and what's
To make
even
it
interesting
worthwhile.
too was that one of my tweets that went viral, Taylor Lorenz screenshot it, and they still had my name. Thankfully, they just cut off the rest of my profile.
Oh,
But
what the man?
Hassan shared the meme of my tweet in his stories, and because someone was like, "Oh, look at this," and I was like, "No way!"
That's cool. That's
Good
like one
man.
time I designed a t-shirt for Denver Comic-Con one year, and there were fans taking celebrity pictures with Jason Momoa for Aquaman. And this- And there
Aquaman.
was one that went viral because he was like cozying up to the girlfriend while choking the boyfriend. or
Yeah, I
something,
saw that
right?
one.
And I was like, that's my t-shirt. And then they showed it on the Graham Norton show. And I was like, that's my t-shirt on the Graham Norton show.
Yeah.
Because it was on the boyfriend that was getting choked.
Yeah.
I just was like, that's good
You gotta
enough
say-
for me,
My
man.
mom doesn't understand Jason Momoa's appeal, and I'm like, you wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, he was
have you
married to
seen
Lisa
Stargate
Bonet.
Atlantis?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
They split up though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But they're still good with each other. Like him and Lenny Kravitz were like this too, because he's the father of Lisa Bonet's daughter Zoe Kravitz. So it's like they're cool that they were like they're all friends and stuff. Like that's how it should
Yeah.
be if you're decent people.
It's got to be
Alright,
so
guys,
nice.
I
to
got
be a
to take a
celebrity.
night. I'm
Yeah,
very-
it's midnight.
2
Good night,
hours.
Sandy.
and
Okay.
I enjoyed Christina having you with us. It was
Mm.
great. Jake, as
Yeah.
always, Matt, I'm so proud of you. And
Thanks.
See you, buddy.
I'm
Appreciate
really
it.
excited with the work. Fantastic.
Thanks.
Guys on my channel,
All good.
I'll be in the chat. I'm too tired and I got to take advantage of this lovely bugs in a jar farm little
Mhm.
tiny house cabin. So, mwah. Night.
See ya,
Nice.
buddy.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah, someone mentioned
like
Amber
that.
Heard. And I have to tell people in the chat, she's the mother of one of Elon Musk's kids.
Oh, is that real?
Who?
Yeah. Amber
who?
Heard, she was
Amber
married
Heard?
to Johnny Depp. There was a whole thing about domestic violence, blah, blah, all that. And he sued her for defamation. And while she was still married to Giant Deb. She was cheating on him with James Franco and Elon Musk. I'm like, gosh, she knows how to pick him.
Oh my gosh.
And so they had a battle over the embryo because most of Elon Musk's kids are not done through like him actually having physical intercourse, because look at him. It's all about artificial insemination and IVF, which is kind of funny considering his stance on, IVF or whatever. But like they had a battle over the embryo. She stole the embryo, left the country, impregnated a surrogate, and so she has a daughter. And I'm like, do you realize that most of his kids look like him? Like, girl, you too pretty for him.
This is awesome, like left past 10, page 6 stuff.
Yeah.
This is great gossip. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like left past 10. Hear about all of Donald Trump's makeup tips and Elon Musk's IVF. Literal.
Yeah.
I think this is I do have to say it's 12:01 a.m. on the East Coast. It's Thursday, everyone. Happy Thursday. And I mean, if anyone wants to roll. It's up to you.
No, I'm fine.
I want to see a kitty cat. That's all.
I'll be right back. Frankie needs to get out.
Oh, dude, what you gotta do?
With the Harley Quinn, I did.
Nice. So, Jake, we've been on screen together a lot lately.
Yeah. I've been having a blast, man. This has re-energized me quite a bit.
Yeah, you did something the other night where you were playing this other YouTube channel on your show, and I was like, this is classic WYCD. And it occurred to me, I was like, this is how we connected, is you played a video of mine, and then I was like, I got to watch more of this guy's content, because that's a cool thing to do. Not like because you play other people's videos from alternative media, which is I promote that. So I was like, I got to check this out. And then, I mean, it's just been nonstop from there, right?
Basically, yeah. I think I got to do more of that. The point of the show is to talk to progressives who often get all the feelings associated with hearing about this stuff, but then don't get the what to do with the message. But hey, I got to get back to that. But I also feel like the more I do this, the more I see that the problem ain't the progressives. The problem is people who are misinformed intentionally and have no interest in seeing
facts.
Reality. Yeah, they have no interest in hearing what the actual truth is. They have no concern that they're being lied to. Tentatively acknowledge that they're being lied to, and just keep on keeping on. So I want to add that element into the show. And for the last couple of months, I just wasn't in a headspace, I feel like, where I was able to think of, well, how am I going to do that? And I credit, frankly, the recent streams we've done together, which it's just felt good. It's felt like, oh, this is productive. This is worth putting up.
Yeah.
And now I feel like we're back, baby.
Yeah, and I want to thank you for doing those streams with me. I joke that John and you coming on to do election coverage gives the stream a new layer of credibility that it wouldn't have if it were just me.
Sure.
I bet Sam's still not happy about all this. I can't believe you're still going on the majority report. You finally get to come to heads or whatever. Like,
I'm a little nervous.
I'm ready for that.
What's gonna happen? Is he gonna blur me? Are they gonna do something distorting me and go, "Oh, sorry, it's on your end, letter hack," or how's that gonna go?
I hope it starts with a solid 15 seconds of you guys just like.
I'll be like,
Sam, letter hack.
This is what I want. I really, 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 really would love if just one person did this. If anyone here listening or watching now or when the fuck ever, I don't care when it is, if you call into the majority report, just have your standard call, and then right before you leave, go, the letter hack approved this phone call, and then hang up. I think that would be so hilarious. Because so Jake, did you see this clip that I played at the beginning of our show last night? Because you came in late.
Oh yeah, I was restarting my computer. I didn't see it then. I since rewatched the stream, but I'll listen again.
It's just so funny how Sam's like, John from San Antonio is mine.
Do you watch the stream on like 2x? I'll do that sometimes. I love
Yeah.
I didn't-
yeah, let me play this. Because did you see the one from yesterday, Christina?
Oh yeah, you posted on TikTok, right?
Let me.
Oh yeah.
I shared
Let me
it. I
rephrase this.
reposted it.
Anytime we have an excuse to play Sam Cedar content, Majority Report stuff on here, I feel like it's good for the numbers. So let me be dumb. No, I didn't see it.
Oh, okay. Well, let me play it right now.
John from San Antonio, I am so glad to hear from you. It is primary day. Hopefully you'll call in every Tuesday on primary days. I would like that.
Yeah, great. Got another one coming up next Tuesday with Ilhan Omar, so I will. Tonight at 8
You
p.m.
didn't
Eastern,
seem
I'll
that,
be.
you didn't seem super excited about that, John.
He'll check his
I am
calendar.
excited.
He's got to
Okay.
check if the letter hack is his
Oh wait,
broadcasting
do you need
there.
permission from the letter hack first?
No, I already got it. I already got the show planned with him.
No, I'm asking if you're allowed to come on to this show, call into this show. Does the letter hack?
I mean, there's no. Yeah, he approves. Yeah.
Okay. Just imagine me at home watching Majority Report and
Okay,
John
calm
calls
down.
in, and then I put down what I'm doing on the laptop or reading a comic or something. I go, let me listen to this. This should be fun. And then that happens. I'm cackling.
Out.
I'm not going to lie. I'm laughing my fucking ass off when that happens. I'm having so much fun with that. It is
It's
one of
so
the
cool,
greatest
dude.
moments in my day.
The greatest beef
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
left internet right now.
I think it's past
I think so.
the David Pacman beef at this point.
I don't know
Yeah.
why the Vanguard hasn't picked it up. I don't know why Progressive Voice hasn't picked it up. I was-
I could talk to the Vanguard, be like, "Yo, you hear about the like beef between Sam Cedar and the letter hack? Like, it's getting intense."
Yeah.
I
Demon
saw
Mongers.
Anti-Corporatist said, here we go. Matt, I'm going to name you Impossible Whopper because you're the king of fake beef. Hey,
hey,
you'll
fake.
notice.
My favorite burger. The Impossible Whopper.
Well, you'll notice I'm just playing clips. I'm not the one calling in. I haven't said anything.
You're not.
I haven't
Yeah,
initiated this.
yeah. Sam's doing all the talking. No offense, hubby, but like, you know, just ease
Ooh,
up.
burn.
I mean, I'm not doing. This is not on my part. So if it's contentious when I go on there, you will see me. Okay, hold on. My favorite part is how John refuses to play into it.
He's
But
like,
yesterday,
He does not care for this.
whatever.
he's doing the straight man thing. But yesterday, for some reason, he goes, "Yeah, he approves." And then he just wanted to get on with his point. And I think that maybe he was like, "Oh wait, that was me playing into it accidentally," which is even funnier.
It was so good.
I'm loving
Oh
it.
yeah.
Wait, that's McDonald's.
It's so good though.
Because he's not into it, that was also like a stealth boom. Like it was lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's
Ah.
fun. I do post
w-
them on TikTok with hashtag beef though. So
Where's the beef?
I got a lot of
Even I
beef
remember
lovers
that from
going.
the 80s.
Oh,
Even though I wasn't alive then.
oh my god. The where's the beef
Wendy's.
Walking to the earth.
was
I-
one
I-
of the craziest fads of my childhood.
Let-
Everybody was saying it.
People tell me like, how do you know a lot of this stuff about like pop culture history? And I'm like, because I grew up on VH1 watching the I Love the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000 series, like,
Yeah.
and all the spin-offs. That was great. I love those.
It was genius. It was
We need to
very
bring this
genius.
back because Gen Z and Gen Alpha are severely missing like pop. Like I see so much fake like history shit on pop culture, on like TikTok about pop culture, and I'm like, that's not true. Like they're really missing
Yeah.
that pop. Like I know history's more, but pop culture references you gotta know because guess what? You might do you might go to a bar and there's a trivia night and you're not gonna know anything because let me tell you guys something. When Barbenheimer was a thing, I went to a bar. I was gonna play by myself. I won the costume contest because I dressed up as like her pink cowgirl outfit. A bunch of old folks were like, "Oh, you seem like someone who's seen both movies a lot." And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Come with us and win." And I got this team to win first prize.
That's awesome.
Well done.
somebody just mentioned Tim Heidecker and Feldman. Those are better beefs. I think.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
remember that one time he
Getting
did
there.
like was it Feldman did like an AI because he always just has
Oh my god, that's genius.
and I'm like,
Fucking
what is happening?
hilarious.
Sam was like,
It
also
took me a
his
long
beef
time
with John
too.
Benjamin's pretty good too.
Yeah. When he was selling Jazz Daredevil Whiskey Highball, I then stole that and did it myself.
Yeah,
with the Whiskey Highball.
it's funny because when we had Sam on for the first time, he mentioned again, we were like, because we were all like in awe that he came on our little itty bitty podcast, and he was like, I tried to get John Benjamin on, and we are like, okay, cool, it's cool that you're here. And then afterwards, Forrest was like, did he mention that he tried to get John Benjamin on the podcast too? And I was like, oh man, those two would be bickering the whole time though.
This is funny. This is Matt's origin story as a mafia boss. Mafia Matt, he'll be called a legendary figure eventually lost in the mist of time. You know what? I actually tried to do this one time when I was a kid. I tried to catch fog in a jar. Missed.
So was it so
You're a
thick
bad
you cut it
person.
with a knife?
Get it? Missed.
Yeah, I know, but
Oh, yeah. She's like, yeah, dude, you don't have to explain your crap joke.
On the VH1 thing, we should take
Jake's
advantage
like,
of the
let's
fact-
change the subject.
I'm trying to maintain my respect for Matt. It's holding on, just by a thread. It was solid. But we should take advantage of their ignorance, and we should just steal the idea for pop-up videos. We don't have to. What are they going to do? Sue? It's pop-up
videos.
Yeah, do that
I
little
love that.
Yeah.
thing when it.
Yeah, it's funny because
I
I
haven't
also
thought of
watched
that
the
on
React
this
channel, and they've had a 2-part series of teens reacting to Weird Al, which is great. They like him, but the first one was the Fat video and song, and a lot of people are like, the kids are like, this would not fly today. I'm like,
It wouldn't.
I'm like, but he still performs it as concerts in a fat suit. And they're like, Michael Jackson probably hated this. And I'm like, nah, kids. Michael Jackson was a big Weird Al fan. It gave him the bad set to film the Fat music video.
Yeah, that was like the high. That is like the highest honor is to get your song parodied.
Nirvana
by Weird
said it
Al.
best too. You haven't made it until Weird Al parody you.
True.
It wasn't like a
It's
mockery too. It was just his coming up with a lyric that could go with the same beat of the song.
And for that matter, Fat is not. I actually think it would be fine these days because it's not anti-fat. It's just a person who's singing about how they're fat.
Yeah.
They're happy about it. That's their deal. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Weird to fetishize, I'm
So
sure. in
Coolio
20
did
years.
not like Amish Paradise at first. But
Yeah.
I think it was also Madonna who told Weird Al to parody her Like a Virgin song, which is funny. I'm like, wow, the fact that Weird Al was told by Madonna, you need to parody my song was hilarious.
Yeah. Like, why are you not? Come on, am I not famous enough for you?
That's how the Beastie Boys got their start, by opening for Madonna.
Really? I had no
that's
idea.
how they got famous. She pushed them to the beat. Yeah, which is pretty cool. R.I.P. though.
Oh, Madonna.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify when I said mist, it's like MIST.
I hate you so
but like
much.
MISSED at the same. See how it's like a play? Okay, I just want to.
You understand? Mist could mean two things.
You literally missed it with that joke, by the way.
Ah.
Ha ha ha. Look at me. I'm funny. I could have been a stand-up comedian.
I went off the other day. Somebody at work said they don't like dad jokes, and I was like,
whoops.
I have an
you
arsenal.
worked with the wrong guy.
I said, me
to the
neither.
Sun
I
Zone.
prefer elevator jokes because they work on multiple levels.
Mm-mm.
I just started lighting them up, and they were like, dude, stop. And I did not stop.
There's this one guy on TikTok. He's a dad. He's like a first-time dad. He's got his baby daughter. He tells the worst dad jokes because he does like, what do you, like, why did April take so long to come? Because they had to march 31 times. Like, because there's, 31 days of March. And, this is her face the whole time. A baby. She's like, never lost. She got it one time. He got it one time, but still, she's like,
if April showers bring May flowers, what do May flowers bring?
I don't know what.
Pilgrims.
Oh my god.
All right, that's fair. That's solid.
Yeah. And
Um,
remember, there's a Mayflower company that does like those trucks and stuff. So I'm like, guys, want to get on the Mayflower?
there was okay. Well, we don't have any sports fans here, do we? Football
mean-
How did
fans?
the elephant get out of the tree? Quickly.
Something
That's
about
my
a
brain.
trunk. Oh. Um, what did the buffalo say when his son went to college?
I don't
Bison.
know.
Bison.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
She
made a
got
joke about like that. It's actually, you know, I shared a meme about, you know, bisexuality, and it's like a bison son and a father. He's like, Dad, are you gay? He's no, I'm bi, son.
That's a good one. What do you call a hippie's wife?
I don't know what.
Mississippi.
See, that needs the South involved. That need you
Yeah.
got. It's not enough to be a
It has to
hippie.
be a southern hippie
Hey,
then.
dude, make
Yeah.
it any better. It's not a dad joke anymore. Okay, it's like how the worst movie's the best movie with Nicolas Cage in it.
All
Yeah.
right, fair enough.
You can't
enough.
try to improve the movie. You just put that one guy in it. That should be enough.
Yeah. I'm excited though. Next week on Moon Knight Extravaganza, we're going over Deadpool Wolverine, y'all. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I do have to see. As soon as they make that available on Apple for rent at $19.99, I'll do it.
It's so good.
It's a good one. It was like a garage door went over your head. I'm gonna
God.
use that next time somebody doesn't get one of my dad jokes.
Yeah.
Look, we've actually got 111 viewers across channels. Pretty good.
Yeah.
12-17. It's my third night in a row on air. What do you guys want to talk about?
All right,
No.
fair enough.
Throwing it out
look,
there.
I was into the cabinet conversation. I'm
Oh.
trying to think. What do we have? But we did that already. What do we have thoughts about? What do we have feelings? Let's do one more solid topic. What's a good roundtable question?
Jake, you don't like my questions.
I don't. Give me one. Give me a little taste. Let me wet my beak.
Do we really remember memories? Because how do
Yeah, you
you
were right.
have a memory of your memory?
I mean,
I
there's
was
an
like-
eidetic memory or whatever. Like you can remember
But isn't that
specific.
a memory?
It's this type of memory where you remember every little detail about. Like there are people like, yeah, I remember, you know, where I was on this day, this date, and this time doing whatever, and I'm like, huh? And a lot of people say you kind of have one. I'm like, I gotta have one. They're like, yeah, you remember stuff from when you were like a toddler. How do you remember stuff when you were a toddler? And I'm like, at that age, your brain's like a sponge, supposedly. So, oh.
Jake hates this one. Can you really remember taste, or do you just think you remember taste? Like, how accurate is your memory of taste?
Pretty good. But I gotta be honest. Have you ever had dreams where you can smell something?
No, not that.
I get
not
that
I recall.
sometimes. I'm like, why am I smelling something? And it's
I
like,
hate
oh,
dreams.
is it something like that you know, like when your alarm comes on, you're still asleep and you're kind of bopping to your alarm like in your sleep, but then you're like, oh crap, that's my alarm, I gotta wake up. It's kind of like that, but like
I haven't used an alarm unless I'm in a hotel and I have to get up for a plane. I haven't used an alarm.
your body just
since high
naturally wakes
school.
up.
Yeah, I get up early.
My mom's the same way. She wakes up at like 6:30, and then sometimes if we have like a late start like we do tomorrow because we're working at like 9:30, she'll just have her alarm set actually for like 8 or something. So
Okay, I got another one.
also I take trazodone, so I have to have an alarm.
Yeah.
I might just oversleep.
Well, oh man, what was the other one? Shoot. Can you remember? Here's one people actually kind of find interesting. Does the past exist?
What if today is yesterday's tomorrow? Think about it.
Yeah, but is yesterday still there?
It'll
Because you
always be
remember
there.
it and you experienced it. Does it currently exist, or is that only existing in your mind? And does that count?
I remember what I did yesterday. I streamed.
But like, I mean, this is happening right now, but a few seconds ago, it's recorded. Does it exist?
Time is illusion. Reality is a myth.
How about this? This quote is always very difficult for me to follow. Now I forget who said it, but they said it's some
Voltaire.
author. It's other people's happiness is hard to avoid.
I mean, I understand, especially when you're not happy with your life and you see other people happy and you're like, you cannot like it's there, it exists.
It implies that you want to avoid other people's happiness sometimes, right?
Yeah.
It's like it
It'll be too
implies that
much. It's
you're
like,
not in
great,
the
your
mood.
life is perfect. My life sucks. Don't have to rub it in, you know.
So other people's happiness is annoying.
It can be if they're really like, oh my God, my life is so good. And I'm like, great, I've been working my ass off and my life is still shit. So what then?
I mean, I hear you. I used to work with this person who was so bad at their job, made us nuts, and then they were quitting, and we were like, that's good. But, you know, we were talking to them. We were like, what are you going to do? And they're like, oh, I don't really need to work. I own a couple of condos at a ski resort, so I don't really need a job. And we were like, that's why you suck at your job, because you don't need this.
Yeah.
So, like, I got to a point with a job where I did not need the job,
Mhm.
right? And I
Yeah.
said, I'm quitting because I don't need this job anymore. And they're like, just do the job. And I was like, no, you'll be able to tell that I don't need this job because I'm not going to do it like I need this job. And they're like, oh, that's a good point. And I was like, yeah, everyone should do that.
Yeah.
You know how mad we were to find out that she didn't need the job and she was the worst one in the place? Oh my God, we were so mad. So mad.
It's like, you know, my mom could never, not like she can afford to hire new people or even afford to pay me. It's just she pays all my bills, so I make very little a week. But we tried having people, like we would do, like my mom trained me like on the spot, like during like our first day, like my first day on the job. I was like 16 or whatever, and I picked up on a lot of that quickly because I was on Adderall and stuff like that. So I was focused. Well, now I'm on Wellbutrin because with my bipolar, it could trigger like a manic episode. So like, but we had, you know, a few girls come in and I would be like, I was in charge of kind of like training them on the spot, like how to do stuff and what products to use. Because one time someone mixed ammonia and bleach. And I was
wow.
like, you don't do that. Like,
That's amateur.
Yes. Like,
what happened? Did anybody pass out?
No, but like my mom and I were like, oh my God, get out of here. Like they're like, is it supposed to be smoky? And I'm like, my mom's like, you mix ammonia and bleach, didn't you? They're like, oops. And I'm like, do you guys clean your own houses? Like what in the hell?
Hold on. Look at this comment.
It's like a summer one.
What happened to me was, so I lived in Colorado. Weed is illegal.
Yeah.
Okay?
Woo.
Very legal. And then I moved to the South and I was like, it's not legal here. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not. I'm not going to go back to doing something that I did legally, suddenly illegally. That just I couldn't square it. So
tell that to my mom.
Well, and you know, everyone, you do you. I'm not here to.
Well, hemp is legal, so like that. I mean, it's not. It has a certain amount of THC, but it's not the same as like I'll be very relaxed and like high if I eat like one of those like edibles. One time I got an edible, like 2 edibles that were like a total of like 820, so like 420 each. I had that one and I was like, oh my God, I feel so good. But my mom was like, that's so strong. But a lot of people were like, it's hemp, you'll be fine. Like if it was actually like full blown THC, I might be passed out for a full week.
Well, I quickly realized after, you know, smoking lots of dope that being totally sober is pretty trippy. right? It's
Mhm.
weird, like weird.
Yeah.
The world is
I felt like I was floating the
very
first time I
weird.
had edibles from California. I was like, "Oh, this is
Yeah.
so good." My mom's peeking in like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "This is the best feeling in the world." She's like, "Yeah, it's kicking in."
Well, and marijuana is a dream suppressant. So as soon as I stopped, all my dreams came back.
Yeah.
And I was waking up going, "What the why would I even think that? Why is that in my brain?" And then I would spend all day going, "I don't think about that crazy shit." But as soon as I go to sleep,
Yeah.
all this stressy, weird stuff comes in. Like, I do not walk around stressed.
Yeah.
I'm not the kind of guy that thinks back to high school like, I could have been cooler, I could have done better, whatever. I do not give any energy to that. But in my dreams, I'm always back in high school. Everything's super stressy. I'm
Yes.
not doing well enough. And it's
I
like, I am
hate
not
that.
I've never been that fucking guy.
I hate it so much. It's like the worst. Like it's always those recurring dreams because it's like what's funny is that like middle school and high school are nightmares for me, but college are actually decent dreams because I actually did well in college. I made the dean's list. I was making like A's and mostly A's and like 1B or whatever. So it's like, of course, I'm not gonna have nightmares about college in any way because I actually succeeded at what I did there.
Yeah. This is funny.
See, I have no tolerance to THC, so like I'm gonna get like, but again, a lot of people are like, do you smoke it? I'm like, no, I don't smoke cigarettes there. I don't smoke weed. I'd rather eat
You've
an edible and
you've
have a
never
nice
been
prolonged.
never gone to a dispensary? Like a legit one? Like the ones in Colorado, you walk into it and it is like people would say it's like Starbucks for weed. It's better than that. It's not like Starbucks is very limited. You go in here and you will talk to a connoisseur and they will show you, you'll be in there for like 20, 30 minutes just looking at the selection.
It's like going to a gun store for conservatives. Like they'll
Yeah,
be there for hours
that's
looking
better.
at guns. Like I'm telling
Or
you, like
Radio Shack for engineers.
yeah, like all the like topicals. Like my mom likes topicals for like her back and shoulder and whatever. And
Yeah.
my sister needs to give her some more. Because I'm smelling something a little skunky. Anyway,
Oh, I got one for you. The Blessed Beard Company.
Mm.
They make it. It's not always in stock because it's popular. It's the highest, most concentrated salve I've ever seen on the market. And my wife was in that industry for a long time, the CBD stuff in Colorado. And this is amazing. You put it on like a sore muscle, gone. And I mean, when I say sore muscles, I have like spinal problems from years at a desk in graphic design and art. So when I use this stuff, it's like regenerative. I fucking hate. I thought I was gonna get that
like you
word to
regenerate.
just roll off. Regenerative.
You regenerate.
I can't fucking
The muscle
say that
regenerates.
word. It makes me so angry. Yeah, it builds back better.
Regenerative. Is that how you say it?
Regenerative? Or how'd you say it?
Regenerative.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's better than I was doing. No, I think that's how you say it. So anyway, this was awesome. Thanks for coming on. I
Yeah.
really do appreciate it.
No
Tell
problem.
everyone what you're up to tomorrow night. You're on the Power Report.
Yes, I'm not sure we're gonna have someone from the Body Politics come on as well.
That's
I
right.
think we're gonna talk about Tim Walz, probably also Kamala's, Palestine situation. Probably about Israel. I'm assuming like we talk about a variety of stuff, plus maybe something fun to react to take a break from all the heavy news. But you guys can find me at twitch.tv/cosmopolitics. I try to stream whenever I can. Just follow and have your notifications on because I have a day job. Sometimes I don't work, so I'm able to stream more on days off, but like keep an eye on me. And then I co-host a movie podcast called Movie Night Extravaganza. We've had this dude on a few times. We've had Sam Cedar on. We've had Francesca on. We had quite a few people on. Matthew Phone Guy a few times. We're gonna cover Deadpool Wolverine with the Afternoon Tune which is gonna be exciting. Also,
Oh.
he wants to get in contact with you and interview you about your comics. So like that should
Let's
be cool.
go.
Yeah. So
I'm ready.
yeah, so I'm excited about those things. Obviously, I'm kind of sad that my Lady Deadpool cosplay didn't get to come yet because it's more of like a pre-order, but like Comic-Con, you'll see me.
Nice. Yeah, and you said that was in January. I'm gonna look into that right after this.
Yeah, it's at the place with like it's hotel that's huge with a rooftop bar.
Okay.
Yeah. What an upgrade, right?
Right on. That's good. How many days is it?
I
Is
think
it
it's
one
just
day or
it's just one day.
okay?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm
That's
excited
good to
though.
know.
I'll tell you.
Yeah. Keep me in the loop, and I will cosplay as the letter hack like I always do, which is
Yes.
pretty solid cosplay if I do say so myself.
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't do like a Sam Cedar one. Just grow your beard out a little bit and put on some glasses and be like the letter hack. Oh my gosh.
I don't know if people would get it, but it would be. We talked about doing a Left Past 10 for like an April Fool's Day where we just do a majority report
Yeah.
episode and we all play the different parts.
I
think
would
that'd
make a
be
good
really
Emma.
funny.
I could just find like a straight like brown or like light brunette wig and I can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, and so then I am, you know what? I have to travel this weekend. I'm on a road trip back to Maryland.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have to go to a memorial service. So it's going to be like, I think I'm going on air Monday, but there ain't going to be no guest if I do. I might do a lie detector. Have you seen my lie detector episodes? Where I tell
Yeah.
4 stories, one of them's a lie, but any of them could be a lie because I've had that kind of a life.
Yeah.
I might do that. I have one of those locked and loaded ready to go, so I might do that. I might just have a call in and hang
Yeah.
out, be real nice and chill. Who knows what news is going to transpire between now and then? But then Tuesday, be right back here with Jake Drogelis, who was just on, and our special guest, John from San Antonio.
And everybody check out John on the Letter Hack stream. Do that.
That's Tuesday, August 13th, where we will be covering the Ilhan Omar primary. We're pretty sure she's going to snag that one, no problem, but
Yeah.
gotta cover it.
I think I'm going to react to the fact that Musk and Trump are doing an interview on Twitter, which is funny because Elon Musk has a track record of rooting presidential campaigns with his interviews on Twitter. So
Yep.
fingers
So
crossed.
that's hilarious. So yeah, we'll be talking about all that stuff. And then Wednesday, right back here with another Left Past 10. And then Thursday, I will be with Harvey K, Professor Harvey K on Leftist Mafia, and so on and so on. Keep follow me on all the social medias and especially join the Discord and check out the community tab here for updates on all the places we'll be promoting the new Economic Bill of Rights for the 21st Century comic, now available at commondreams.org. Please check that out. Please share it and promote it. It's very important work. Anything else before we go, Christina?
Oh, for the audience, I've been invited to go on the Hill Rising. Not sure when that's gonna happen, but like it's probably gonna happen. And going on the up and up.
Was it Jessica
Yay.
Burbank?
Yes.
Great.
She's doing more for my career than a certain host that I was friends with for 2 years.
Hey, things happen for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Roll with it.
Roll with it.
There you go. I should have just hit the credits right there. It would have been perfect to just end the show. Let's both do that again. Roll with it.
I can't wait to send a letter hack a cease and desist about John from San Antonio.
Oh,